Welcome to the inaugural season of Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball. Presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. And now it's time for your Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show.
Hello and welcome into the press box here at Vince Jenna Stadium. I'm Nick Winstead. The Grey Wolves here in Bend, Oregon, taking on the Elks one last time on the road, trying to go for the sweep. Finishing off this three-game set in Bend, a couple of thrillers here in Central Oregon. Last night, an 8-7 victory that had a lot of tense moments in it for both squads. The Grey Wolves were ahead 7-1 in that one, going into the bottom of the seventh, but the Elks score 4 runs, 2 of which came in on a Tommy Lane 2 RBI double, as he is the West Coast League leader in RBIs, and with 35. And Ben tacks on 2 more in the bottom of the 8th after the Grey Wolves can't capitalize on a bases-loaded situation in the top half of that inning. We're all tied up at 7 going into the 9th. A leadoff double from Drew Curtis, who had a mammoth night. He went 4 for 5, had a 3-run home run, his first home run of the year. And that double, 2 runs scored in that game is a perfect bunt for a hit laid down by Curtis Perrin down the third baseline. Drew Curtis moves to third, so runners on the corners, no outs in the inning. That brings up the pinch hitter Ben Clanky, who hits a sacrifice fly to left field. And talking with Curtis after the game, there was kind of an in-between hit. It wasn't a for sure thing to do to break towards the plate, as it wasn't as deep as you might like a sacrifice fly in that situation. He relied on Coach Barkas, and Coach Barkas just said score, score, score. So he broke for the plate. It ended up being a weak-armed throw, cut off in the infield, no play at the plate, but the sacrifice fly putting the Grey Wolves back on top 8-7. And then no more runs would come across in that inning. Michael Clark would come in for his second save opportunity in as many days. He got a couple of quick ground outs, but a Jack Anderson single up the middle and a hit batsman, Zach Moeller, got tagged in the first pitch of the at-bat, took 2 men on with 2 outs, and Tate Budnick came to the plate. First pitch he saw, he put it high into the air down the left field line, but Curtis Perrin tracked it down in foul territory to make it out number 3 and back-to-back wins for the Grey Wolves. And that's the first back-to-back wins since the last game of the All-Star break and the first game after the All-Star break. So the 14th of July, a game against Victoria, and the 20th of July, a game against Corvallis, and the first back-to-back wins in consecutive days since the 9th and 10th of July, and a pair of wins against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. And those were the last 2 wins of a 5-game win streak that started off the second half as part of what might be labeled as a resurgent July for the Grey Wolves. They went 14-10 on the month, but more importantly, 13-7 in the second half. And they just need that one last push in them to get to the playoffs, as they picked up a game on the Yakima Valley Pippins last night. They were just a half game back. The Pippins in first place at 14-7. The Grey Wolves in second place at 13-7 in that series against Kitsap, now looming large, as they had a chance to pick up some ground on the Pippins, as the Pippins were off for that series. The Grey Wolves ended up dropping the last 2 games of that series and now find themselves a half game back when they could be a half game ahead of the Pippins if they had been able to sweep the Blue Jackets, or even tied with the Pippins if they had just won the series. And regardless, it's the chance for the first sweep since the first series of the second half. Able to sweep the Falcons as the first 3 wins of that 5-game win streak I mentioned, and already secured a series victory after dropping the last 2. And really in these first 2 games, to clinch the series. It's been a tale of two games, a pitcher's duel in game one, a 3-1 victory where both starters were very sharp. Riley Newman and Chris Brown were just putting on clinics, each in their own sort of way. Newman had 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. He did give up the 3 runs in the loss. And Chris Brown went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits. He walked 4 and struck out 4, but really was supremely effective and got out of a couple of big jams, none larger than in the 7th. Bases loaded and no runs come across in a very tight game, and that's really what you love to see from your pitching staff, just absolute nails out on the mound. And then last night it turned into a slugfest after being initially sort of another trudging game offensively. The first runs coming across in the 4th inning for each team. 1 run for Gresham, 1 run for Bend, and then a 6th inning that featured 5 runs for the Gray Wolves, but then a 4-run bottom of the 7th, attacking on 2 more in the 8th for the Elks, and really just a lot of firepower displayed in the latter part of that game. It all comes, of course, down to pitching, with Michael Clark being able to pick up the save. But two very different games, and it's important for the Gray Wolves to be able to win in different ways, especially going down the stretch when you're never really sure what the dynamic of any given game is going to be like. For certain games could very well just be the first 1 to 10 runs sort of a game, but also you have to rely on your starting pitching to be able to stifle another offense. And speaking of an offense that's clicking, the Corvallis Knights, the next series for Gresham, riding a 5-game winning streak. Going to need your starting pitching to be able to shut down the Knights. And taxing on the bullpen last night might not help that cause, as there were 5 separate pitchers used in the game. And you look at the box score, not necessarily in innings thrown, as only Michael Clark and Gabe Benavides actually threw complete innings. Kyle Scott, Carter Book, and Jeremy Smith also into the game. They threw a lot of pitches, not necessarily seeing it on the box score. And as part of that resurgent July effort, just 7 games left, and all of them are going to be tough. This last one here against Bend, don't want to get swept in their final game of West Coast League play here at home. They will also play the Gray Wolves in Gresham to finish out the regular season, the tail end of the next 7 games. You've also, as I mentioned, got the Corvallis Knights, who won the South in the first half, looking to hit their stride for the playoffs. So important to be playing good baseball going into the playoffs. You can't rely on just being able to show and go in the playoffs, and they're doing a very good job at that at this moment. 5-game winning streak, as I mentioned. As for the starters tonight, for the Gray Wolves, it will be Ryan Smith leading things off. The normal leadoff hitter, Dylan Doherty, getting some rest. As you might remember, he tweaked his right arm during his last at-bat of the game, an at-bat in which he drew a walk. But he's going to get the day off to make sure that everything's fine there as the coaches and umpires meet at home plate, exchanging the lineups officially. So Ryan Smith getting the leadoff duties today with Doherty out. Connor Zicafus will hit second, playing third base. Mark Cardinale back into the lineup in the DH role. He got the day off yesterday after he had a bit of a tweaked back. They gave him the rest he needs, and he's back into the lineup. Hitting cleanup, it'll be Josh Adams. He's playing right field. Jack Johnson, we saw him move from third base to shortstop last night to take over for Doherty, and that's where he's going to get the start this evening. Drew Curtis is in left field. Curtis, who had that mammoth day at the plate, can't take him out of the lineup. Will Matheson will hit seventh, playing first base. Ben Clanky back in the squad, and Jordan Barkus will get the start at second base. He came in as a defensive sub last night as part of that switching around that occurred after Doherty had to exit the game. He was able to finish the at-bat, but just couldn't give 100% out on the field, and he knew that 100% is the threshold. You've got to be able to give it your all or have somebody else have a shot at it. You can't be given anything less than max effort, as Coach Barkas will head back to the dugout for the Grey Wolves, located up the third baseline. He points out, looks like a piece of fans' garbage that had made its way onto the field, in fact, and he pointed out to the home plate umpire, making sure that that got picked up. They have a assistant here at the Bend go and retrieve that. They're going to announce the starting lineups here for the Elks. We're going to take a quick break. The starting lineups will come for both squads after, and we'll have national anthem, then first pitch. I'm Nick Winstead, and this is Grey Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to Jerry at GreshamGreyWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGreyWolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Hello, and welcome back into the press box. Bend Elks announced their starters, the singing of the national anthem, all wrapped up, and we're ready for baseball. Game 3 of the 3-game series coming up. It will be Ryan Ward on the mound for Bend. He's making his 8th appearance, 6th start, an 0-3 record, a 5.83 ERA on the year. He's thrown 24 2/3 innings, giving up 26 hits, 20 runs, 16 of which are earned, 22 walks to 21 strikeouts. His last appearance came on July 26th at Corvallis. He threw 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts against 24 batters faced. He got a no decision in a 3-2 win for Bend. Ryan Smith getting loose just in front of the on-deck circle as the Gray Wolves in their gray pants camo tops, a tan and black combination comprised. The camouflage part of that is actually all eyes of the Gray Wolves logo. Pretty neat jersey there for the guys to go along with their gray pants with the black streak up the side. And go along with those, it's the gold tan colored stirrups for some of the guys, those who would like to wear them. As for the Elks, they are wearing their white pants, black tops with tan sleeves, Bend on the left shoulder, Bend Elks across the front in white. It's a black and gold tan colored bill. As Smith digs into the right side, Ward, the righty, fires first pitch fastball. Strike one called. First pitch at 6:41 p.m. A 6:35 scheduled start. As this one is sent into the back screen. Strike two. A quick 0-2 count on Smith. He went 2 for 5 yesterday. A double and 2 runs scored. The center fielder digs back in after taking a quick step out. Ward eyeing in at Lewis Wolf. He brings the ball into his glove at the chest. Kicks and fires the 0-2. Fouled off again by Smith. He's battling early here. And really that's what you want out of your leadoff guys, to be able to take a lot of pitches, try and get as much out of that starter as possible in this first at bat to help the guys out behind you. And if you can get on base in the process, that's even better. The 0-2. Curveball down inside as that dropped off the table. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's a 1-2 count to lead off the game here in Bend. A sunny day in Central Oregon. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball up, ball 2. Trying to get him to go around on the letters high fastball. Smith will readjust his batting gloves before stepping back in. Ward eyes in. He fires the 2-2 pitch. And a brave take there from Smith as that just missed on the breaking ball. A full count now as he'll take another deep breath and step back in. He asks to make sure that he's not going to get a quick pitched here. We're all set up. The 3-2. And ball 4 called. Another beautiful breaking ball just missing on the inside part of the plate. It's a leadoff walk. You go from 0-2 to a walk. And Ryan Smith is aboard. It'll bring up Connor Zickafoos, the third baseman for the Gray Wolves. He was the DH last night. He went 1 for 4 as he hits from the left side. Smith with his lead at first base, about 3 steps off the bag. He takes a secondary lead on a breaking ball called strike on the inside part of the plate. Defensively for Bend, Billy King at first base, Tade Budnick at second base, George Mendozona at shortstop, Jared Gonzalez getting the start at third. A throw over will get away from the first baseman King, rolling up the right field line, taking a big turn around second base, charging for third now is Smith, and he will glide into third base. A first to third throwing error in the top of the first. We saw one of those last night. The Elks were the beneficiaries of it. That came in the fourth, led to their run in that inning. But Smith up and charging hard towards third base as it got away from King, and that's a throwing error on Ryan Ward. Suddenly an 0-1 count with a runner at 90 feet from home for Zickafoos. And curveball, strike 2, dropped it in on the outside half. Now a strikeout situation for Ward. Has 21 Ks on the year. The 0-2 put into play, and that's a line drive into left field. An RBI single for Connor Zickafoos, and the Grey Wolves take advantage of the throwing error and plate Smith after a leadoff walk. He goes from first to third on the air, and Connor Zickafoos in an 0-2 count, an opposite field knock to bring in the first run of the day. 1-0 lead for Gresham over Bend. That'll bring up Mark Cardinale, the designated hitter, hitting in the 3-hole. He did not play yesterday, as I mentioned, resting his back. Zickafoos with his lead at first base. First pitch swinging high into the air on the first base side. King working out underneath it in foul territory, and he gloves it with one hand for out number 1. As Cardinale got jammed inside and went around and ended up popping it up. An easy play for King at first base. That'll bring up Josh Adams, the right fielder. Adams went 0 for 3 yesterday. He did reach on a walk and made the most of it. 2 stolen bases and a run scored. As he digs into the lefty's batter's box and promptly kicks away some of the chalk that was set up on both ends of the batter's box. Still that line right in front of home plate, but up at top and the bottom, he's knocked it away. Zickafoos at first, the first pitch of the at-bat, high fastball inside on Adams, ball 1. A 1-0 lead in the top of the first for the Grey Wolves. Ryan Ward working from the stretch now. Glove resting on his front hip, shakes off his sign from Wolf. Find the one he wants. He'll kick back and fire over towards first base. This time into the glove of King, applying the tag. Not in time. Zickafoos diving in headfirst safely. It's a 1-0 count for Adams after the throw over to first. Zickafoos with his lead again. The 1-0 pitch. Just missing inside. 2-0 the count. As the fans here trying to get involved. A very active crowd at an interactive stadium here in Bend at Vince Jenna Stadium. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball high, ball 3, a 3-0 count now to Josh Adams after Mark Cardinale was retired on one pitch after the RBI single from Zickafoos. It's a 3-0 count. Slightly open stance, and that will be ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Adams, the second walk of the inning. Now 24 walks on the year for Ryan Ward. Zickafoos moves to second base and into scoring position for Jack Johnson, the shortstop tonight for your Grey Wolves. He's got an ankle brace on his front ankle, that left ankle, as he hits from the right side. 2 on, 1 out in the top of the first, a 1-0 lead for Gresham. It's double play depth up the middle for the Elks. First pitch fastball way up high. That's 5 straight misses, and the last 2 haven't been close. 1-0 the count as Johnson digs back in. Black batting gloves go along with his black wooden bat. He rears it behind his right shoulder. The 1-0 pitch up and out of play on the first base side. Strike 1, breaking up the string of 5 straight balls. The Elks are on a 4-game losing streak. 2 of those, of course, coming at the hands of the Grey Wolves. It's a 1-1 count. 1 out. A 1-0 lead for Gresham. And a bluffed throw back to second base has Connor Zickafoos ducking as he goes back to the bag. Nobody covering. Tate Budnick issuing out some defensive signs to Ward and the rest of the defense, maybe trying to set up a back pick. Nobody's covering first base with Adams aboard. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. A changeup. Strike 2 out in front of it was Johnson. He'll tighten up his batting gloves. He looks down to Coach Barkis at third base. Coach Pena at first. It's a 1-2 count. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, the first strikeout of the game for out number 2. Jack Johnson gets fooled on another change up from Ward. That'll bring up Drew Curtis. Curtis, who had that huge day at the plate yesterday, looking to continue it here. He went 4 for 5, a 3-run home run, his first home run of the year, a double, and 2 runs scored. And curveball down low and in the dirt, a nice block by Wolf. In the outfield for Bend, it's A.J. Valencia in left field. In center field, Derek Chapman and Jack Anderson getting the start in right field, back-to-back days. It's a 1-0 count. Ward looks back to second, fires pitch way up high, 2-0 the count. Up over the head of Curtis. And Curtis listed at 6'6", 215-pound sophomore from Southern Illinois. It's a 2-0 count, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Zicafus at second, Adams at first. A 1-0 lead for Gresham in the top of the first. The pitch, belt-high fastball, will not be called a strike. Might have just missed outside, but only just. It's a 3-0 count now to Curtis. Will Matheson on deck, and high fastball inside, ball 4. So a strikeout is bookended by 2 4-pitch walks, and with that, George Mendozona, the shortstop, and Lewis Wolf, the catcher, will go out to the mound and try and talk with Ward as the bases are loaded. Zicafus at third base, Adams at second, and now Curtis at first, the 3rd walk of the inning. Couple of slaps to the chest and on the back for Ryan Ward from his teammates. As Mendozona retreats back to shortstop, Wolf back into the squat. Will Matheson, the start for Stanford Cardinal to be, comes to the plate with the bases loaded. It's already a 1-0 lead for the Grey Wolves. An opportunity to really get a big inning here. First pitch fastball, strike 1 called. Locating at the knees against big Will Matheson. He, like Drew Curtis, 6'6". Not quite as filled out in that frame, however. The 0-1. And that's upstairs. 1-1 the count. Fires in the fastball first pitch, then misses way upstairs with what looked like might have supposed to have been an off-speed pitch, and it just got away. It's a 1-1 count. Curveball inside, ducking out of the way of that one, but it drops in inside, but not for a strike as Matheson bailed out early on that one. It's a 2-1 count. Bases loaded, a 1-0 lead for the Grey Wolves. The pitch, high and inside, nearly hitting Matheson. He just gets out of the way in time. 3-1 the count. And now no margin for error for Ryan Ward. Bases loaded and a 3-1 count. 1 ball away from walking in the second run of the inning. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. 4 walks in the inning. And now a run coming across on the RBI walk from Will Matheson. Zicafus scores from third base. Adams moves to third, Curtis to second, and Matheson is aboard. Ben Clanky is due up. There's a conference out on the mound. It looks like Coach Powell will be out there trying to talk with his starter as things have not gone according to plan at all. A 2-0 lead here for the Grey Wolves. It all started with a full count walk drawn by Ryan Smith, and a throwing error moved him from first to third, trying to send him back to the bag. Ends up getting away from King on the low throw wide of the bag. It runs up the right field side. Smith goes from first to third. Connor Zicafus in an 0-2 count. An opposite field line drive, drops it in front of A.J. Valencia for an RBI single. And after Mark Cardinale pops out, a 4-pitch walk to Adams. Now Clanky will start his at-bat. First pitch, a drive into right field. Anderson is on the move, making a big circular route. It'll drop in front of him. He gets it on one hop, throws to the plate, and it'll be on a line to home plate. But it's an RBI single for Ben Clanky. Now a 3-0 lead for the Grey Wolves in the top of the first. First pitch swinging, Clanky drops it in front of Anderson, who took a big circular route to the baseball. Maybe on a straight line, he might have been able to make the play and get out of the inning, but he didn't get a great read on it as it was just one step in front of him when he got there, maybe on a dive, but you never want to dive in a situation where you're not sure you can make the play, especially with runners aboard. The bases remain loaded for Jordan Barkis, hitting in the 9 spot. First pitch swung on, up and out of play. Strike one. As Ryan Smith has to have some of his gear tossed back to him from Coach Pena as he's back on deck. And curveball down low, 1-1 the count as it's nicely blocked by Wolf. We got the day off yesterday. Zach Moeller did the catching. Everybody with their leads on the base paths. 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch, fastball upstairs. 2-1 the count. A 3-0 lead in the top of the first for Gresham. 4 walks have helped them along. Just 2 hits in the inning, 3 runs. The 2-1 pitch, fastball high, ball 3. And Ward is having a lot of trouble finding the strike zone here. The one strike in this at bat was a foul off in the first pitch by Barkis. Now all count leverage with Barkis, the 3-1. Up and into the back screen, strike 2. A full count. It's the second full count of the inning. The first came in the first batter of the inning. Ryan Smith, he drew a walk. He would come around to score the first run of the 3. Bases loaded now. Chance for the Grey Wolves to blow this one wide open. The payoff pitch. Down low, ball 4. That's the second walked-in run of the inning. 5 walks now for Ryan Ward. He's got 27 on the year. And with that, the Grey Wolves had batted around in the top of the first, a 4-0 lead. Adams coming back up. As I mentioned, he'd have some of his gear thrown back to him by Coach Pena. He shed it on his first trip to first base. He's trying to have another one here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Smith back up, the first pitch. Fastball catches the knees on the zone. Strike 1, a pitcher's strike. Just catching the zone. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs. Bases loaded, a 4-0 lead. The pitch, curveball, strike 2. And that's a strike any way you look at it. Smith taking that one. Dropped in nicely by Ward, trying to get out of this one before it gets too much worse. A 4-0 lead. The 0-2, and that will be, looks like a changeup missing inside. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, bases loaded for Smith. 4-0 lead for Gresham. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball way upstairs. Wolf has to reach way above the zone to grab that one to make sure it doesn't go to the back screen. 2-2 the count. 2 outs. Bases loaded, 4-0. Only 2 hits for the Grey Wolves. 5 walks. The 2-2 pitch. Upstairs again. 3-2 the count. This curveball coming in at the letters of Smith. It's a full count. Bases loaded for Ryan Smith. A 4-0 lead for Gresham. The 3-2. Way over the head, and that is the third walked-in run of the inning as Smith has drawn walks in both of his plate appearances this inning. It is now a 5-0 lead for the Grey Wolves, and that will end the appearance for Ryan Ward as a pitcher is coming out of the bullpen. He gets a slap on the back from the head coach, Corey Powell, and a round of applause from the fans here. But it's a 5-0 lead for Gresham. Still, bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the first. We'll take a step aside as new pitcher gets warmed up. 5-0 lead for the Grey Wolves on just 2 hits. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com.
Connor Zickafoos back up at the plate. His first time up, an opposite field line drive for an RBI. 1 of 2 hits in the game thus far for the Grey Wolves. And first pitch from Andrew Edwards, the lefty from Central Arizona College. Misses low, bounces off the plate. 1-0 the count. Ward goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits but 6 walks. Is responsible for the bases loaded. 5 runs already across. The 1-0 will get away from Wolf. And coming into the plate, the throw will not be in time. Sliding in safely from third base is Kalanke. Now a 6-run lead for the Grey Wolves. All coming in the top of the first. Smith moves to second. Barkis to third. And it's ball 2 on Zickafoos. A 6-0 lead. 6 walks thus far, and it's a 2-0 count to Zickafoos, the second pitcher of the inning. Andrew Edwards coming in, a lefty, works from the first base side of the rubber. Trying to get out of this one. He's thrown up just 2 pitches and run has come across. The 2-0 to Zickafoos. That'll be low. A ball 3, and unfortunately for Edwards, he might be the sacrificial lamb of sorts. He has to just go out there and throw until the next guy is actually fully ready. Try and get out of the inning before he's completely ready to go out there. It's a 3-0 count. The pitch. Strike 1 called as that catches the zone. As that gets a round of applause from the fans here in Bend. Edwards making his 8th appearance on the year. He started 6 games. He's thrown 30 innings as he brings the ball into his chest, drops it just above the belt. The 3-1 pitch. Very late strike call. Zickafoos was ready to throw his bat over, and it was seen that the home plate umpire gave strike 2. That was a very late strike 2 call on a questionable pitch. It's a full count. 2 outs. 2 runners in scoring position for Zickafoos. The payoff pitch will be shot to shortstop Mendozona. He'll load up and fire to first base in time for out number 3. And so the inning is over, but the damage is done. A 6-run top of the first as the Gray Wolves bat around. 11 batters sent to the plate. Just 2 hits, but 6 walks. A 6-0 lead for Gresham over Bend. It'll be Donovan Ramirez with the 6-run lead over the Elks. They'll send up Derek Chapman, A.J. Valencia, and Billy King to the plate when we return. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn it up a play with your Gresham Gray Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Gray Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Gray Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Welcome back to Bend, Oregon. I'm Nick Winstead. The Gray Wolves bat around in the top of the first. It's a 6-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first. Donovan Ramirez getting the start for the Gray Wolves, making his 10th appearance, 5th start on the year. Has thrown 37 innings, given up 22 hits, 15 runs, 7 of which are earned. 23 walks, so 27 strikeouts, a 3-3 record. First pitch strike fired in on Derek Chapman, a fastball. A 1.70 ERA for Ramirez. His last game came against Kitsap at home as this one has popped up onto the infield. Matheson will take over from his position at first base. About halfway up the line and glove it for out number 1. That'll bring up A.J. Valencia. Valencia came in defensively last night. Played a left field after Elliott Willie was pinch hit for by Billy King. Valencia hitting 138 on the year in 58 at-bats. He hits from the left side. An open stance. Squared up to show Bunn. That one, no opportunity. Goes low and inside. It runs to the backstop. Ball 1 as Kalanke couldn't glove it. And in that last start against Kitsap, he went 6 innings. Gave up 5 hits. No runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. In a 6-1 victory, the lone victory against the Blue Jackets, and it's a 2-0 count after missing off the outside edge. This time against Valencia. Ramirez, big leg kick, the 2-0. Fastball, strike 1 called. As Ramirez waiting on the mound, looking in at the plate. He works from the first base side with that big leg kick as he starts in the middle of the rubber, shuffles over to the first base side, takes that big, massive leg kick and almost up to the top of his head, really, and then fires in the pitch. It's a 2-2 count after this one is fouled off by Valencia. A 6-0 lead for the Gray Wolves over the Elks as a new baseball is asked for by Ramirez. As He'll shuffle things around, find him a new one. Defensively for Gresham, Will Matheson at first base, Jordan Barkus at second base. The 2-2 pitch from Ramirez. Up and out of play third base side as Valencia fights it off and stays alive. Jack Johnson at shortstop, Connor Zickafoose at third, Drew Curtis in left field, Ryan Smith in center field, and Josh Adams in right. The 2-2 pitch from Ramirez. Curveball way outside. 3-2 the count, as that one must have slipped and nowhere near the zone, as Clanky has to come up out of the squat, glove it in the right-handed batter's box. The payoff pitch, fastball line drive up the middle. It'll be played off of one up in center field by Smith. It's a one-out single for Valencia. The first hit of the day for the Elks, and that'll bring up Billy King, who, as I mentioned, had a pinch hit opportunity last night, and he made the most of it. A sacrifice fly in the 8th to tie the game at 7. The second of 2 runs coming across in the 8th. The first came in on a balk, as Jack Anderson scored from third base. It's 1 out, 1 on, a throw over to first base. Tag applied, but not in time. Valencia back in safely. King hitting .309, the second best average on the team. And fastball away. The ball 1. And working from the stretch, a much lesser leg kick we're seeing from Ramirez. Valencia takes his lead at first base. Matheson covering. It's double play depth. The 1-0. And fastball again misses off the outside edge. 2-0 the count against Billy King. King, the Oregon State Beaver. The 2-0. Called strike on the outside edge. 2-1 the count. The fastball finding the strike zone this time around. Slight breeze from left center field towards the left field line, cutting across. Another throw over to first base, and they've got Valencia in a rundown. He took too big of a lead. The throw will go to shortstop. Johnson running him back to the base, and he's tagged out. And that's out number 2 as Valencia got caught napping on the base paths. Big secondary lead taken too early, and that'll be out number 2. It's a 2-1 count with 2 outs now against Billy King. King digs back into the left-handed batter's box. The 2-1 pitch. Just missing inside. 3-1 the count, as both starting pitchers seem to have a little bit of trouble figuring out the strike zone thus far. Of course, Ward had a lot more trouble thus far than Ramirez is having. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball. Ball 4. And a big pat flip over towards his dugout for Billy King as he draws a walk. That'll bring up Tommy Lane, the DH. Lane, a very accomplished hitter this year for the Elks. He's tied for second in home runs in the West Coast League with 5, and tied for first in RBIs with 35. And that comes at a price, however. He has 55 strikeouts, which are the most in the West Coast League. His curveball drops in high off the outside half. 1-0 the count against Lane. He went 2 for 4 last night. A double, 2 runs driven in on that double, and 2 runs scored. Hitting .243 on the year. He hits from the left side. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball at the knee. Strike 1. It's a 6-0 lead for the Grey Wolves after they bat around in the top of the first, helped out by 6 walks, just 2 hits in that inning. Another throw over to first base has King diving in head first safely. Not trying to repeat AJ Valencia's base running mistake, as he was caught in the rundown after a throw over to first, eventually tagged out by Johnson. The 1-1 pitch, fastball off the outside edge. 2-1 the count. as Ramirez will kick some of the dirt away from the first base side of the rubber. Ball behind the back, glove resting on his front knee. He brings the ball into his glove outside of his chest. The 2-1 pitch up and out of play on the third base side. Strike two, a 2-2 count. Donovan Ramirez on the mound for the Gray Wolves. Tommy Lane at the plate. It's a 6-0 lead. As Lane draws his bat across the plate, loads up behind the left shoulder. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball, strike three looking. Down goes Lane. The first strikeout of the game leaves a runner aboard for the Elks. A 6-0 lead after one for Gresham. As we go to the top of the second, it'll be Mark Cardinale, Josh Adams, and Jack Johnson due up. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGrayWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGrayWolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer.
Mark Cardinale steps into the right-handed batter's box for the second time in as many innings, and he'll lead off the top of the second. First pitch, back foot breaking ball. The lefty Edwards drops it across the zone. Strike one called. Cardinale was the first out of the first. A pop fly in foul territory. This rolled one over to Gonzalez at third base. Gonzalez tosses to King for out number one. Cardinale 0 for 2 today. And that'll bring up Josh Adams, who drew the second walk of the inning. It was a 4-pitch walk, and he would score one of 6 runs for the Gray Wolves in the top of the first against Ryan Ward. And for Ward, it was, as one might assume, the shortest appearance of the year. Just going 2/3 of an inning, giving up 6 runs. He is responsible for fastball inside against the lefty Adams, as he has to jump out of the way to get out of the way of that one. 1-0 the count, 1 out here in the top of the second. Still just 2 hits for the Gray Wolves. The 1-0 bounced in off the outside half. 2-0 the count. Really, it was the Gray Wolves being disciplined at the plate and allowing Ward to do the work for them. Man, a called strike now on Adams that maybe he wasn't too sure about. He nods his head now, talking with home plate umpire Mark Anderegg. He said, all right, I understand now, but he'll tighten up his right ankle brace. Dig back in. It's a 2-1 count, 1 out in the top of the second. The 2-1 pitch from Edwards misses low and outside. 3-1 the count. That slider continues to be low in the zone. It runs in on lefties, then drops off the table, and then it's a back foot slider for righties. It's a 3-1 count. The pitch, high fastball going around, strike 2. Adams couldn't catch up to it. And that's strike 2. Edwards trying to right the ship here, just get a couple of innings, allow his offense to go to work without Gresham putting anything else on the board. The 3-2 pitch, up and past the dive of Mendozona into left field, a full extension deep into the hole, but kicks right underneath his glove, and it's a full count single for Josh Adams, the third hit of the day for Gresham. A 1-out single to left field. It skips right underneath George Mendozona. It was so hard hit, a tough play. He was right above it, nearly making a great play. That'll bring up Jack Johnson, who struck out for the second out. As this one is shot to second base, a chance to turn two. Backhand flip to Mendozona. Mendozona to first base in time. And it's a 4-6-3 double play hit into by Jack Johnson. And that'll end the top of the second. A no-run inning after plating 6 runs in the top of the first. Andrew Edwards comes in and goes with a minimum faced. We go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Lewis Wolf, Jack Anderson, and Jared Gonzalez coming to the plate when we return. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Welcome back to Vince Dennis Stadium. I'm Nick Winstead. The catcher, Lewis Wolf, coming to the plate for the Elks as Donovan Ramirez starts his second inning of work. A 6-0 lead for Gresham over Bend. First pitch up and out of play on the first base side. Strike one. It looked like a changeup run into by Wolf. Got there a little bit late, though. Slaps it foul. The right-handed hitting Wolf. The big leg kick, the 0-1. And that'll miss just a bit low on the cutter from Donovan Ramirez. He's looking in at Clanky now, gets the signs. The 1-1 pitch, fastball. That'll be rolled over to Barkas. Barkas takes 2 steps, fires on a line to Matheson for out number 1. That'll bring up Jack Anderson, the right fielder. As Anderson takes a couple of check swings outside of the left-handed batter's box before digging in. Big leg kick, fastball off the outside edge. Ball 1. The 1-0. Fastball called strike one on the outside edge. Able to bring it in a little bit from the last pitch. And here's Ramirez. Maybe a better frame up by Clanky helping out there as well. The 1-1 up and out of play on the third base side. Not that the last one could have been called a strike with a frame, as it was well outside. But it always helps to have that bit extra work done by the catcher. And sign of a really good defensive catcher is winning those 50-50 balls, getting a called strike. The 1-2 pitch will be shot to Barkas at second base. He plays it on 2 tough hops, wings it over to Matheson for out number 2. And that will be Jared Gonzalez coming to the plate, the third baseman. He didn't play yesterday. I actually haven't seen him for this series, getting his first time out there. Gonzalez, the Gonzaga University Bulldog. A proud Zag, I'm sure. Black cleats, black socks, hits from the left side. First pitch dropped in for strike one on the outside half. Back-to-back lefties in the order. Swung on and missed. Strike two. He drops down to one knee to trying to find any part of the ball on that one, but he comes up empty. 0-2 the count now. 2 outs. In the bottom of the second, the 0-2 pitch. He stays in strong as that one was a fastball inside and looked like he might have hit him had he leaned just a bit. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Upstairs. Ball 2. Goes from 0-2 to now 2-2 the count. 2 outs, a pair of groundouts to Barkis at second base. Ramirez gets the sign from Clanky. The kick, the pitch. And this one will be shot deep into the hole and a dive. It gets past Barkis into right field. A long run for Barkis and just out of his range. He goes full extension dive, but it is the second hit of the day for Bend. And that'll bring up Tate Budnick. Budnick at second base today. He went 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored last night. First pitch, fastball, strike one call. Budnick was up at the plate. 2 runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, and he hit a fly ball in foul territory down the left field side to end the game. The 0-1. Changeup misses high off the outside half. 1-1 the count. 2 outs here in Central Oregon in the bottom of the second. A sunny day, long shadows being cast from the left side across the field. The 1-1 pitch is shot deep into the hole past the dive of Johnson at shortstop, and back-to-back sharply hit grounders to either side of the infield has back-to-back 2-out knocks, and that'll bring up George Mendozona. Mendozona sporting number 12 today, typically number 3. I was told he actually lost his jersey, so he had to flip-flop into number 12. He hits from the left side. First pitch fastball high off the outside edge. Ball 1. 3 of the now 5 batters being faced by Ramirez have been lefty, so a lefty stacked bottom of the order for Bend. It's a 1-0 count. 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch, a fastball up and out of play on the third base side. Strike 1. A sunny day here in Bend, a day where the guys got to hang around. Bend got to experience Central Oregon if they hadn't before, and some of the guys utilizing their time to check out Bend. It's 82 degrees here now. A curveball misses off the outside edge. 2-1 the count. Obviously a beautiful part of Oregon and lots to do in both summer and winter, and making it doubly attractive. The 2-1 pitch is a changeup inside. 3-1 the count. 2 runners on, 2 outs, a 3-1 count. Jared Gonzalez had a single through the right side. Budnick through the left side. Gonzalez at second, Budnick at first. It's a 3-1 count. The pitch. And fastball down low, ball 4. Walk number 2 today for Donovan Ramirez. And that loads the bases. Gonzalez at third, Budnick to second, Mendoza on his way to first, and Derek Chapman comes up. He'll let off the game for the Elks, popping one up to Matheson on the infield grass halfway up the first baseline. Now he's got a chance to get the Elks on the board. They trail 6-0, but a big opportunity here in the bottom of the second, get themselves right back in it. First pitch, fastball, inside, called strike one. He kind of dipped his left knee into the zone, maybe trying to get hit on that one. But he's got a slightly open stance. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs. The fastball, strike two called on the outside edge. And now Chapman has looked at 2 strikes fired in by Ramirez. Chapman, the Washington State Cougar. It's an 0-2 count. The 0-2 changeup will be sent over to Barkas at second base. He fires to Matheson for out number 3. It's all 4-3 putouts in the inning, just with a little bit of tension in the middle. The Elks leave the bases loaded. They've now stranded 4 in the game. It's a 6-0 lead for the Gray Wolves after 2 innings of play. We go to the top of the third. It'll be Drew Curtis, Will Matheson, and Ben Clanky due up. We will take a quick break. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGrayWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGrayWolves.com.
Drew Curtis at the plate, and first pitch lined into the back screen. Strike one. It's a 6-0 lead for the Gray Wolves over the Elks. I'm Nick Winstead, bringing you Gray Wolves action on the road here. The first series wrapping up. The 0-1 will go well outside to even the count at 1-1. The Gray Wolves continue their road trip. They'll be playing 3 games at Corvallis Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before returning home to face this same Elk squad. A fastball inside. Ball 2 has Curtis leaning over, trying to get out of the way of that one. His midsection working back towards the back of the box, trying to get out of the way. The 2-1 pitch. Big chopper over to shortstop Mendozoni. Waits on it. Takes 2 steps. The high throw will get off the top of the glove of King. And that'll be a throwing error, allowing Drew Curtis aboard for the second time today. He reached on a walk, and now the throwing error from George Mendozona, and right off the lip of the glove of King as he was trying his best to stay on the bag. He realized he had to try and keep that one from going into the dugout off of the back screen that wraps around from end to end of the dugouts, the far ends of the dugouts, and it's about a story and a half tall, and that'll bring up Will Matheson as swing and a miss, strike one, a challenge fastball, and it's blown by Matheson. He had an RBI walk his first time up, and he scored as well. It's an 0-1 count, 1 on, no outs. Fastball, strike 2 called. As that one catches the outside half of the plate, as Andrew Edwards had to come in after 2/3 of the first, and 6 runs responsible for. As this one will be a high fastball. Holding up on the appeal is Matheson. Tried to check his swing. It's a 1-2 count for Matheson. Edwards sets the 1-2. Fastball lined back to the back screen. Strike two it remains. A 1-2 count as Matheson starting to battle here against Edwards. Edwards being forced out onto the mound after Ryan Wardstart just collapses. He sets at the belt, the 1-2 pitch. Checks his swing as a backdoor slider misses. 2-2 the count. Sets at the belt, the leg kick, the 2-2, up into the air on the right side. Giving chase is Anderson, but he'll watch that one fall well out of play. It takes a couple of caroms off of a house, rolls across the roof and into the street. Remains a 2-2 count. No outs here in the top of the third. Drew Curtis is aboard after a George Mendozona throwing error. The 2-2 pitch, as this one is lined into right field, making a slide and not being able to grab it is Anderson. He trapped it against the dirt. Would have been a spectacular play, but as he tried to slide, he gave up his opportunity at really grabbing that one. If he had dove for it, he might have had the chance, but the slide slowed him down. And so now Matheson aboard for the second time today. It'll bring up Ben Clanky. Clanky had an RBI single into right field his first time up. He also scored a run. It's part of the 6-run. Top of the first, 2 on, no outs for Clanky. First pitch swinging, another chance for 2 to second base. The throw to first will not be in time. Clanky dives through the bag. And he keeps it from being a double play, just a fielder's choice. As he rolled that one to Budnick. They had a chance to roll another double play, but Mendozona had to double clutch at second base. So runners on the corners, 1 out as Curtis moves to third base and Clanky is aboard. Matheson is retired for out number 1. That'll bring up Jordan Barkis. Still a double play depth for Bend. Tate Budnick and George Mendozona up the middle. Billy King holding on. Clanky. Gonzalez in on the grass at third base. Barkis walked in a full count his first time up. He sees first pitch strike as Edwards is finding himself in a jam now. He worked out of the jam given to him by Ward. The 0-1, nubbed off the handle of the bat, foul by Barkis. Strike 2. An 0-2 count for Barkis. He battles to get aboard for the second time today. But already continuing to battle here are the Gray Wolves, the 0-2. And curveball just misses inside. 1-2 the count. As Elks fans starting to get a little bit restless here. Expressing their ire towards Mark Anderegg, the home plate umpire. Ted Cockrell in the field. It's a 1-2 count. The pitch. Up and into the air, down the left field line. Foul ball. As Barkis tried to slap it opposite way. It's a 1-2 count. 1 out. Runners on the corners. Edwards sets at the belt. Deep breath. Long look in. The 1-2 pitch. Slider away. Ball 2. Trying to work that slider across the zone as it comes in on lefties and drops off the table. Barkis standing in strong. It's a 2-2 count. Curtis at third. Clanky at first. The pitch. Clanky goes. Swing and a miss. And it will be fouled off, by Barkis. And so Clanky will go back to first base. It remains a 2-2 count. He just barely got a piece of that one. And Wolf couldn't hold on. It remains a 2-2 count. Sets at the belt, does Edwards. He'll throw to first base. The throw over to King as Clanky back in standing up. And not the pickoff throw, but just the, hey, get back to the bag throw. It's a 2-2 count. Drew Curtis reached on an error. He's at third base. The pitch to Barkis. Strike three looking. The slider catches the zone this time. And down goes Barkis. That'll be Ryan Smith coming up for the third time this evening. He had 2 plate appearances, I should say. And the first he walked both times. Now, this is his first at-bat, as there are now 2 runners on, 2 outs in the top of the third. Curtis takes a long look at his bat, digs in, loads the bat behind his right shoulder, waving it slowly back and forth. The first pitch, slider misses low, ball 1. The Gray Wolves jumped out to a 6-0 lead in the top of the first as Ryan Ward, the starting pitcher, just lasted 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 6 walks and 6 runs. The 1-0 fastball misses off the outside edge. 2-0 the count. And 2 runners on for the Gray Wolves, trying to add on to their lead as they saw a 6-run lead evaporate last night. Making sure that they've got plenty of leeway here. The 2-0. Called strike 1. It looked like a changeup from Edwards. It's a 2-1 count as now Smith will watch Edwards tie his shoe behind the mound real quickly. And some shadows coming across the mound being cast by a big net out in left center field designed to block home run balls. It's very much still in play, though. If you hit that, it is a home run. It's just designed to catch them from going in to the facility behind the left field wall. It's a 2-1 count. The pitch, fastball just misses off the outside half. 3-1 the count. Mark Anderegg not giving any leeway to Andrew Edwards out there. It's a 3-1 count, 2 outs, runners on the corners. The pitch. Fastball tags the outside edge. Called strike 2. Very similar pitch locations. This one a strike, however. And now Edwards will have to adjust his jersey. It's a full count now for Smith. He drew a full count walk to start off the game. And then was issued a 4-pitch walk. The payoff pitch. Sent back into the back screen as Smith stays alive. As the sun casting its long shadows off of power poles, buildings, nets, and trees here at Vince Jenna Stadium, a beautiful park for baseball. The 3-2 pitch, up and out of play on the first base side. Trees that run from the right field side into left center field where that net starts. And then there's a building behind left field that runs beyond the left field wall. And shadows being cast. They've just about made their way onto the infield grass. Just the very tip of that building casting a shadow onto the infield dirt. It's a 3-2 count. The pitch. Fastball down low, ball 4. And that will load the bases. And another big opportunity for the Gray Wolves here, as that is the first walk of the appearance for Edwards. Clanky goes to second. Smith over on to first, as he has now drawn 3 walks today. Has one of the best on-base percentages in the West Coast League, and you could see here hit in action. That'll bring up Connor Zickafoos. Zickafoos 1 for 2 today, an RBI single and a ground out. First pitch fastball high off the outside edge. Ball 1. Zickafoos, the 6'2", 205-pound freshman, goes to Chapman University, calls Chino Hills, California home. The 1-1 pitch up into the air, and that'll drop into center field. Scoring from third base is Curtis. Being sent from second is Clanky. And there will be no play at the plate. It's a 2 RBI knock for Connor Zickafoos. He's now driven in 3 runs today. And it is an 8-0 lead. The Gray Wolves on top. Smith goes to the plate, to second base, Curtis goes home. Clanky goes home. Smith to second. The 2 RBI single from Zickafoos as he sent that one back up the middle on a low line drive. That'll bring up Mark Cardinale 0 for 2 today. First pitch fastball down the middle, strike 1. 8-0 lead for Gresham over Bend. A day after they picked up a game on the Yakima Valley Pippins as the Pippins fell at home. And they're currently on top of the Cowlitz Black Bears 2-1 in the bottom of the second. A game that we'll keep track of along with the rest of the games around the West Coast League. It's an 0-1 to Cardinale, and the slider misses low. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. The Victoria Harbor Cats on the road. They're ahead of the Blue Jackets 3-1 in the top of the 5th. The Bellingham Bells on top of the Falcons. The Bells at home in the bottom of the second, a 3-0 lead, as this one will get away from Wolf momentarily, but Smith credited with a stolen base as he got a jump before that one. It was a good pitch to go on, a breaking ball, and he got a great jump, and he gets credited with the stolen base. So now runners on the corners, 2 outs. The situation that Smith was in when he came to the plate, he ended up drawing a walk. Zickafoos at first base, Smith at third, Cardinale at the plate. It's another opportunity for the Gray Wolves, as checking his swing now is Cardinale. 3-1 the count. 2 outs in the top of the third. 2 runs across in the inning for the Gray Wolves. After a 6-run top of the first, still trying to add on more. Deep breath, the 3-1 pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 4. The second walk of the inning for Edwards has loaded the bases back up, and it'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Josh Adams. Zickafoos over to second base. Smith, who stole third, remains there, and now Wolf will go out and talk with Edwards as Adams strolls up to the plate. Adams he's 1 for 1 rather. A walk, a run scored, and a single, and he was the first out of a 4-6-3 double play. Hit into by Jack Johnson on deck now. This will be the 8th batter sent up to the plate by the Gray Wolves. First pitch swinging, fouled to the back screen on the first base side. Strike 1. Josh Adams, the 6'2", 210-pound sophomore, goes to UC Santa Barbara, calls Elk Grove, California home. It's an 0-1 count. 2 outs, bases loaded, an 8-0 lead for Gresham in the top of the third. The 0-1 pitch popped up in foul territory. Wolf will watch it, and that'll be working its way out of play as it was hit very high and just kept working its way further and further back, and it looks like it'll be a souvenir for a fan here in the preferred seating section of Vince Jenna Stadium. These seats have backs along the first and third base line, bleacher style seating. It's an 0-2 count now for Adams. Bases loaded, an 8-0 lead for Gresham on the road, going for the sweep of the Elks, and they find themselves in good position early on, but still a lot of baseball left to be played. The 0-2 pitch on its way. Slider upstairs, ball one. A 1-2 count now. 2 outs. Adams drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up and then had a single through the left side in a full count. Now he's got the bases loaded. The 1-2. Fastball low. The ball two as Adams watched that one in, and with it, as it cut across, he's crouched down with it, as you might see some batters do, as that was a very close take. It's a 2-2 count. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Grey Wolves. The 2-2 pitch, up and into the back screen as Adams continues to battle against Edwards. A lot of long at-bats this inning, getting a lot of pitches out of Edwards. This game started at 6:41 p.m. It is now 7:51, and it's still just the top of the third. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses just off the outside edge. 3-2 the count as Josh Adams is showing a very good awareness of what the strike zone is. A couple of near misses and back-to-back pitches, and it's a full count. 8-0 lead for Gresham. The payoff pitch will wait as he steps back towards second base, sends Zikafus back to the bag. Nobody trying to set up a back pick. Remains a full count. Setting at the belt, the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, it's an RBI walk for Josh Adams. And he gets the best of that at bat, showing great plate discipline. Ryan Smith comes in to score after he drew a 2-out walk. And Connor Zikafus moves to third, Mark Cardinale to second, and Adams to first. An RBI walk will bring up Jack Johnson, who hit into a 4-6-3 double play last inning, and in the first struck out. One of just 2 players for Grey Wolves to not get on base thus far today. Coming into this inning, and Mark Cardinale is out at second base now after drawing a walk, and it's a first pitch strike to Johnson. As the Grey Wolves have sent out 9 batters now. They sent 11 guys to the plate in the first. There's a short second as Edwards faced the minimum. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Johnson down 0-2. Bases loaded. Zikafus at third. Cardinale at second. Adams at first after the RBI walk brought in Ryan Smith. A 9-0 lead. The 0-2 pitch will be shot to the right side. McGinty the play on the dive, a fist over, and that will be in time with Edwards covering. King flips it over, and that will be the end of the inning. 9 runs come across in the first 3 times up to the plate for the Grey Wolves. A 6-run first and a 3-run third, as the Grey Wolves send up 9 batters this time. Get 3 runs out of it. We go to the bottom of the third. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Bend. AJ Valencia, Billy King, and Tommy Lane. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGreyWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGreyWolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on.
Left fielder AJ Valencia, the 2-hole hitter for the Elks, will lead things off in the bottom of the third. 3 runs put up by the Grey Wolves in the top inning. They strand 3, however, as this one is a high fly ball into left field, and that is grabbed by Drew Curtis for out number 1. And this park set up that the sun comes in at the plate, and the fans with them not really being able to see, but the outfielders able to see where the ball is hit into the air. So a lot of fans not being able to see if that one's gone necessarily or not, and you just look for Curtis out there. He knows where it's going, and he collects it for out number 1. That'll bring up Billy King, who drew a walk his first time up. He sees first pitch strike from Ramirez. 0-1 the count. 1 out in the bottom of the third. A 9-run lead for the Grey Wolves. Big leg kick, the 0-1 fastball inside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. As those shadows continue to get longer and longer as the sun reaching closer and closer to those mountains who are far beyond the left field wall. Strike 2 called. Catching the outside part of the zone as the fans continuing to voice their displeasure. Mark Andrig bearing the brunt of that. It's an 0-2 count. The pitch. Curveball outside. 1-2 the count now. It moves to 2-2, 1-2 to 2-2. Big leg kick. Up into the air into left field. Curtis shuffles back and collects it for out number 2. Pair of flyouts to left field will bring up Tommy Lane with 2 outs. He struck out looking his first time up to end the first inning. It's from the left side. The DH, first pitch fastball, strike 1. It's a 9-0 lead for Gresham over Bend in Game 3 of the 3-game series. Gresham going for the sweep and a comebacker right to the mound, snagged right out of the air by Ramirez, twisting around, grabs it, and makes the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and a spectacular play made on the mound by Ramirez to snag that one out of the air. We are done here at the third. We move to the fourth. It will be Drew Curtis leading off in back-to-back innings. Will Matheson and Ben Clanky also due up for the Grey Wolves. It's a 9-0 lead for Gresham over Bend. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Trying to double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Welcome back to Bend, Oregon. I'm Nick Winstead. The Grey Wolves on top of the Elks, 9-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. Drew Curtis, who reached on an error that started off the 3-run third. He comes up. He is 0 for 1 today. He scored a pair of runs. He drew a 4-pitch walk and reached on that error, as I mentioned. As this one is swung on and missed strike one. And 0-1 count for Curtis as fastball will miss off the outside edge. 1-1 the count. No rest for the weary for Andrew Edwards as he goes to the dugout, and then it's a 1-2-3 inning. He's sent right back out there after facing 9 batters as this one is up into the air. Foul on the first base side. Strike 2. And a fan tried to make a one-handed play, but watched it kick off of his hand and roll down the bleachers on the first base side. At the 1-2 pitch now. Big chopper up the middle to Mendozona. He gloves it on the run, fires to King. In time for out number 1. Drew Curtis now 0 for 2 today. We'll bring up Will Matheson. Matheson 1 for 1 with a little bloop single into right field. He also had an RBI walk his first time up as he sees first pitch fastball from Edwards. Strike 1. Right in the heart of the plate. It's an 0-1 count, 1 out. Turn, kicking and firing the 0-1. That'll be bounced off the leg gear of Wolf and work up the first base side. It's a 1-1 count. Missing low. As for the Grey Wolves, they came into this contest one game above 500 on the year, 24-23, but more importantly, 13-7 in the second half. It's a 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Strike 2 called on Matheson. Matheson went 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging. Now Edwards is in the driver's seat. The 1-2 pitch, the back foot slider, that'll miss low. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 pitch, fastball just misses the outside edge, a full count for Will Matheson, the 6'6" first baseman for the Grey Wolves, a soon-to-be Stanford Cardinal in Palo Alto, California. The payoff pitch Misses off the outside edge. And drawing the walk is Matheson. Now the 4th walk of the game for Edwards. 10 total walks drawn by the Grey Wolves in just 3 1/3 innings. That'll bring up Ben Clanky. Clanky had an RBI single into right field his first time up. He hit into what could have been a 4-6-3 double play, but George Mendozona couldn't find it in his glove at shortstop. He ended up beating out the throw, so just a fielder's choice. 0 for 1 today in that category. Is this one is up the left field line. Long run, and foul ball will be the call as it worked out of the park just barely towards the field house here in Bend. It's got batting cages, a team store, restrooms, as well as an upper deck to watch the game from. And as I mentioned time and time again, a really great place for baseball here in Bend. If you're going to go to a Grey Wolves road trip, you might think about coming down here. The 0-1 will be bounced in off the outside edge, and that's a great play by Lewis Wolf. Get it on the stab with the left hand, just basically flailing the glove out, making sure that he, if nothing else, knocks it down, and it keeps Will Matheson at first base. It's a 1-1 count. Matheson with about a 1-step lead off of the bag at first. Edwards goes to the plate. Fastball inside. Ball 2. It's a 2-1 count now. 1 out, 1 on, in a 9-0 game. Gresham on top of Bend. Just a half game back of the Pippins are the Grey Wolves in second place in the South. And a throw over to first base has Matheson in standing up. It remains a 2-1 count for Ben Clanky. 1 out. Hitting from the left side. The pitch jammed in on the hands, fought off, foul. Strike 2. 2-2 the count as Ben Clanky is the strikeout batter. If he strikes out, it's at discounted prices here at Vince Jetta Stadium. It's a 9-0 lead for Gresham. The 2-2 pitch on its way. And strike 3 looking, dropping in the slider on the inside half. And with that, fans are making their way down to the beer locations, as it's only for 10 minutes that offer qualifies. So they're rushing down the grandstands. It's 2 outs now. And that is the second strikeout for Edwards. Third strikeout on the day total, as Ward in his 2/3 of work. One of those was a strikeout. Jack Johnson going down swinging. That'll bring up Jordan Barkis. And he struck out in his last time up. A back foot slider, wild pitch will send Matheson to second base, as there's no back foot to go to against the lefty Barkis. As has been really the secondary pitch of choice for Edwards is that slider. It's a 1-0 count. The pitch. Fastball tags the outside edge. Strike 1. A 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position for Barkis. A 9-0 lead over the Elks here in Bend. Game 3 of the series. The Grey Wolves going for the sweep. Edwards brings the ball into his glove at the chest, drops it to the belt, sets the 1-1 pitch. A big chopper up to shortstop. He'll have to go to first base. A throw will be high and staying on the bag. No, he fell off the bag, did King. He made an acrobatic lunge well off of the bag. It was his glove, his foot trying to stay on. They're going to appeal to the home plate umpire, and now saying he stayed on the bag for out number 3, said Mark Anderegg. Not sure if that one was necessarily the right call, but Mark Anderegg says he's out on the appeal. So that will be out number 3 as the Gray Wolves strand 1 in the inning. No runs on, no hits, no errors, thanks to an acrobatic play by Billy King. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Lewis Wolf, Jack Anderson, and Jared Gonzalez due up. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Lewis Wolf coming to the plate. He is 0 for 1 today, a ground out to second base. He sees first pitch strike from Donovan Ramirez, a 9-run lead for the Gray Wolves. As the Shadows have overtaken the entire field. Curveball inside, ball 1. 1-1 count. Just the glare affecting some fans and those of us in the press box. The 1-1 pitch, fastball down off the outside half, low of ball 2. As Wolf digs back in, his .341 average, the highest on the team, as this one is lifted high into the air into right center field, and that will drop for a base hit, just in between everybody. A leadoff hit for Lewis Wolf, and he is the first leadoff man aboard today for Bend. That'll bring up Jack Anderson. The Elks had their best scoring opportunity in the second. They had the bases loaded with 2 outs, but Derek Chapman grounded out to second base, and it was a 1-2-3 inning in the third. A pair of flyouts, then a line out right back to the mound. First pitch fastball outside. 1-0 the count. Wolf with his lead. And a called strike just catches the bottom part of the zone on the off-speed pitch from Ramirez. A 1-1 count. Gonzalez on deck. Budnick in the hole. Fastball high off the outside half. 2-1 the count. A 9-run advantage for Gresham. 6 coming across in the top of the first, 3 in the third. Those 9 runs on just 5 hits. As changeup grabs the strike zone on the outside edge. 2-2 the count. Four hits for the Elks. No runs to show for it, however. They will watch strike 3 called. A fastball on the outside edge. Down goes Jack Anderson. And that is the second strikeout of the game for Ramirez. Jared Gonzalez comes up. He is 1 for 1 today. The Gonzaga Bulldog. It's from the left side. He had a bouncing ball through the right side, just out of the reach of Barkas. This one is a laser down the first base line. Foul. Strike one as he was sitting on off speed. He got it, but got there too early and sent it well foul. Strike one. A slight breeze moving the American flag off of home plate. And changeup grabs the outside half. 0-2 the count. The fans not happy about it. An 0-2 count, 1 out as the sun just beginning to set. The 0-2 up and out of play on the third base side. Gonzalez battling. Gonzalez will take a quick step out of the batter's box before digging back in. Tall black socks, black cleats, black bat, black batting glove, black batting helmet, and black top. The 0-2 slider misses low. 1-2 count. The 1-2 pitch, a high drive into right field. Adams working back at the wall, and this one is gone. A 2-run home run off of the bat of Jared Gonzalez puts the Elks on the board. Lewis Wolf comes in to score, and Jared Gonzalez breaks up the shutout as he hits that one high into the air, mile high up, and it just kept going and going and going till it was gone. A 9-2 lead now for the Gray Wolves on top of the Elks. As now the base is clear and 1 out, it'll bring up Tate Budnick. Budnick 1 for 1 today. He was stranded at second base, and that base is loaded second. First pitch strike on Budnick from Ramirez. A good bounce back pitch after giving up the home run. Just the second home run on the year for Gonzalez and his 7th and 8th RBIs. A swing and a miss, strike 2 for Budnick. Tate Budnick hitting 125 coming into today. And 1 for 1 thus far. And big curveball lips off the glove of Ben Clanky before going up the first base side. It's a 1-2 count. Ramirez brings the ball into his glove. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball down low. Ball 2. Back-to-back misses off the outside half against the right-handed hitting Tate Budnick. This one high into the air into left field, and that will take one drop right in front of Curtis. As that one started off high and then just deadened. Looks like it might have caught a breeze. Regardless, it is a 1-out single for Budnick after the 2-run home run from Jared Gonzalez. That'll bring up George Mendozona. Mendozona drew a walk to load the bases in the second. He comes up with a runner on, and it's an 0-1 count. As now the home plate umpire, Mark Anderegg, will go and talk with the field umpire, Ted Cockrell. There are 2 outs indicated on the scoreboard. It's an 0-1 count. And fastball strike 2 called. And Mendozona is down 0-2. And it seems as if that was the conversation being had. It was 2 outs on the scoreboard, just 1 out of the inning. A strikeout looking of Jack Anderson. The 0-2 up and into the net on the third base side. As Budnick's at first, as he's got his lead, as he was moving on that one. He'll go back to the bag. It's an 0-2 count. And again, fouled off by George Mendozona. Hitting from the left side. The 0-2. Rolled over to second base. They go to second base, and the tag is applied by Johnson as it ended up dropping in front of the bag. They get the lead runner on the fielder's choice. Budnick is retired on the 4-6 fielder's choice hit into by Mendozona. That'll bring up Derek Chapman 0 for 2 today. A pop out to first base and a ground out to second base. He comes up with 1 runner on, 2 outs. Ball 1 on Chapman. A now 9-2 lead for Gresham after giving up the 2-run home run to Jared Gonzalez. As this one is into the air into right center field. A long run for Smith and a dive, and he will not make the play. It gets underneath him, rolling to the wall. Coming around from first base is Mendozona, being sent from home as the throw will not be in time, and inside the park home run for Derek Chapman. A inside the park home run for Derek Chapman. The full extension dive from Smith, letting it get underneath him and roll to the deepest part of the park, and Chapman's got the wheels. An inside the park home run. Still a 5-run lead for Gresham. 9-4, but 4 runs coming across in the inning. Not a recipe for success. And for Chapman, that is his 2nd home run of the year. Called strike 1 on A.J. Valencia. As this one is into the air into left center field, and that one will be retrieved by Drew Curtis. So a pair of home runs in the inning, 1 over the right field wall and 1 inside the park, put 4 runs on the board for the Elks to finish off the 4th inning of play. It's a 9-4 lead for Gresham as we go to the top of the 5th. Due up for the Grey Wolves, it'll be the top third of the order. Ryan Smith, Connor Zickafoos, and Mark Cardinale. You are listening to Grey Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Welcome back to Bend, Oregon. After a 4-run bottom of the fourth, a pair of home runs, 2-run shots, a 2-run home run from Jared Gonzalez, an inside the park home run from Derek Chapman. The Gray Wolves will try and respond. They're on top by 5, 9-4. As Ryan Smith comes to the plate, he tried to make a dive in center field, and it got past him, and that allowed the inside the park home run for Chapman, his counterpart in center field. First pitch ball from Andrew Edwards. Now he'll get a strike call. 1-1 the count. As this one is up and out of play on the first base side, taking a hard thud off of the clubhouse for the Elks, a clubhouse that the dugout is built into, where their locker rooms are. As for the visiting team dugout on the third base side, a much more traditional dugout, just a standalone structure. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 looking. Down goes Ryan Smith. It's the third strikeout of the game for Edwards, and it's a first time that Ryan Smith has not gotten aboard via the walk. He is 0 for 1 today, but has drawn 3 walks and scored 2 runs. It brings up Connor Zickafoos, 2 for 3 today, with 3 RBIs. A RBI single in the first and a 2 RBI single in the third, as he sees first pitch strike. Slider dropped in, 0-1 the count. And strike 2 called. And now Andrew Edwards, being pumped up by his offense, is dealing thus far in the 5th at an 0-2 count. The pitch. And this one, a curveball inside as Zickafoos has to bail out. Would have hit him otherwise. 1-2 the count. 1 out after Smith leads off and gets struck out looking. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Dropped into the dirt. The throw will go over to first base. King will step on the bag. Out number 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. Now 4 strikeouts in the game for Edwards. And that'll bring up Mark Cardinale. Cardinale 0 for 2 today. He did draw a walk and was stranded at second base in the third. First pitch, a drive into center field. Chapman will take 2 steps in and collect it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Bend Elks. A true 1-2-3 inning. 3 up, 3 down. They faced the minimum in the second, but a hit was drawn by Adams before Jack Johnson hit into a 4-6-3 double play. And back-to-back innings, the Gray Wolves are blanked. It's a 9-4 lead for Gresham over Bend. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Billy King, Tommy Lane, and Lewis Wolf due up for Gresham. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday.
Billy King will lead things off. Donovan Ramirez, first pitch fastball, just misses off the outside half against the left-handed hitting King. The 1-0 on its way. Curveball down low. 2-0 the count. King 0 for 1 today. He drew a walk in the first and then flew out to left field as part of a 1-2-3 third. Ramirez would like another short inning here after the long fourth. He gave up 2 home runs, 1 over the fence and 1 inside the park. Fastball misses off the outside edge. 3-0 the count now. Ramirez, the big leg kick, the 3-0 fastball. Strike one called on the outside half. The 3-1 fastball hit off the mound, played nicely by Johnson as shortstop, and that'll go over to Matheson for out number 1. As that took a redirected route, as it took a big hop off of the mound. A low line drive connects with the mound, shifts back more towards shortstop. It was heading up towards second base, and Johnson stays with it for out number 1. That'll bring up Tommy Lane. Lane 0 for 2, and his last time up he sent a screamer back to the mound that Ramirez snagged out of the air. This is a high fly ball to right field, and this one will get down along the line. Getting to it now is Adams. The throw will go to third base, and sliding in safely to second is Lane. A 1-out double down the left field line. Lewis Wolf coming to the plate. He led off the fourth, and he blooped in a single in between Smith and Barkis in right center field. Wolf 1 for 2 today. One out here in the inning. Runner in scoring position now for Wolf. Ramirez sets. He's working from the stretch. Fastball right down the middle. Strike one. An 0-1 count now against Wolf. He'll tighten up his batting gloves outside the box. And 0-1 becomes 1-1, a fastball down low. A 1-1 count, 1 out, 1 on after the double from Lane down the right field line in the first pitch of his at-bat. As this one is through the right side and getting there quickly is Adams. He'll throw it to the plate. A sharply hit ball past first baseman Matheson. And now there's runners on the corners, 1 out. That'll bring up Jack Anderson, who struck out looking in the last inning. As some activity now brewing in the Grey Wolves bullpen. Not to be unexpected at a couple of innings where the Elks are starting to square him up nicely. Still a 5-run advantage, but you never want to push it too much, as this one will be lined into the glove of Johnson. A throw back to first base is not in time, trying to double up Wolf, but he gets back in safely. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Jared Gonzalez, 2 for 2 today. His last time up, a 2-run home run over the right field wall as he cranked the first home run of the inning. Get the Elks on the board. They added another 2-run home run. That one was an inside the park home run on Derek Chapman. Big comebacker up off the mound, delayed off the glove, and going to first base, not in time, will be Ramirez. And so that's an RBI infield hit for Jared Gonzalez. As Ramirez tried to make the play, it ends up lipping off of his glove, and he can't get there fast enough to go to the first base or second base in order to get an out. That'll bring in Tommy Lane. Now it's a 9-5 lead for the Gray Wolves as Tate Budnick comes to the plate. He had a hit into left field his last time up. He's 2 for 2 today. He was retired on a George Mendozona fielder's choice. First pitch, fastball low, 1-0 the count. The 1-0. Called strike one on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 the count now on Budnick. A 9-5 game. 5 runs on 10 hits for the Elks, and 9 runs on just 5 hits for the Gray Wolves. Ramirez brings the ball into his glove, looks back at second base. The 1-1 pitch, fastball. Here comes ball 2 as that one must have missed just a bit low and looked good from up here. It's a 2-1 count, 2 outs, 2 runners on, 1 run across in the inning. Check swing, called strike 2. As Budnick was sitting off speed, started to go around for an off-speed pitch, but ended up being a fastball low, and that will be strike 2. It's a 2-2 pitch. Fastball, strike 3 looking. Down goes Tate Budnick. He gets rung up. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Ramirez, and that'll be out number 3. 1 run comes across on the Jared Gonzalez infield single. It's a 9-5 lead for the Gray Wolves through 5. As we go to the top of the 6th, it'll be Josh Adams, Jack Johnson, and Drew Curtis due up when we return. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with your Gresham Gray Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Gray Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Gray Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
And the first pitch of the top of the 6th swung on high into the air into shallow right field, and making the grab is King. Is Tate Budnick and Jack Anderson were all around it as eventually Budnick and Anderson bailed out, and Adams retrieved it, or excuse me, rather, King retrieved it to retire Adams for out number 1. That'll bring up Jack Johnson. Johnson 0 for 3 today, the only Grey Wolf to not get a board, as he has struck out, hit into a double play, and hit into a very close play at first base. He might have beaten it out if there was a review system, as fastball misses high off the outside half. 1-0 the count is originally ruled safe by field umpire Ted Cockrell. He goes and talks with Mark Anderegg, and Anderegg says nope, he was out. It's a 2-0 count. And that was in the third, a 3-run inning for the Grey Wolves to make it 9-0. It is now 9-5 as another fastball misses high off the outside half. A 3-0 count, so it looks like Jack Johnson has a pretty good opportunity to get aboard here. Edwards sets at the chest, drops, kicks, and fires the 3-0. Fastball right down the middle. Strike 1 taken by Johnson. The Grey Wolves going for the sweep this evening. They'll be traveling to Corvallis tomorrow to take on the Knights in a 3-game set. The 3-1 pitch, checking his swing, and strike 2 called. Now a full count on Johnson as he's dropped his bat, and looks like he's going to be dealing with something on his arm, and the home plate umpire issues a warning to a fan, telling them that they will be removed if they continue to jaw at him. As the home plate umpire says the game will not continue. To knock it off, it was apparently the call out onto the field, thinking that perhaps Johnson was pretending to be injured. Not sure why anyone would pretend to be in pain. It's not soccer after all. However, a fan here in Bend, perhaps not too pleased with the initial innings, trying to voice some of their frustration. But Johnson remains in the game. He gets a round of applause from the fans. It's a full count, 1 out. The 3-2 pitch, up and out of play behind home plate. Remains a full count. Johnson came in today hitting .238. He went 0 for 4 last night with a sacrifice fly RBI, hitting in the 2 spot. 3 flyouts to center field along with his sac fly to center field. The payoff pitch, a high drive into, you guessed it, center field. Chapman takes 2 steps back and collects it for out number 2. Drew Curtis coming to the plate now. Curtis 0 for 2, but has scored 2 runs as he drew a 4-pitch walk and scored in the first. Reached on an error to start off the third and came in to score on Connor Zickafoos's single, 2 RBI single into left center field in the third. First pitch, a big swing and a miss for Curtis. Strike 1. Curtis had a monster night last night, 4 for 5. His first home run, it was a 3-run shot, a double and 2 runs scored as he sees fastball down low to even the count at 1. It's been 7 straight retired now. As the last base runner was Will Matheson in the 4th. As Edwards has gotten into a groove. The 1-1 pitch, a high fastball tipped into the glove. Strike 2. The 1-2 pitch will be rolled foul down the third baseline, heading towards the left field wall, and it'll be towards the Gray Wolves bullpen bench. Both bullpen benches located along the respective walls, as well as the mounds. Not just benches, full bullpen facilities here in Bend. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. It'll be a drop, strike 3, but Curtis heading back to the dugout and easily tagged out by Wolf. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Andrew Edwards, in which he struck out 3 batters. He's got 5 strikeouts on the evening as the Gray Wolves put up 3 straight zeros on the board. They still lead 9-5 going to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be George Mendozona, Derek Chapman, and A.J. Valencia due up when we are listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGrayWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGrayWolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
George Mendozona will be facing up against a new pitcher. It's number 12, Zach Robinson, taking over for Ramirez. Ramirez went 5 innings, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, which were earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. As fans starting to go crazy here and trying to get a t-shirt from the mascot, Vinny the Elk. It's an 0-1 count on Mendozona. Robinson, a submarine pitcher. 1-1 the count now after a miss outside. Robinson, a freshman from Puyallup, Washington, goes to Clark College in Vancouver, Washington. Now it's a 3-1 count. And that will be a ball 4. A leadoff walk drawn by Mendozona. Puts himself aboard for the 3rd time today. He's walked, headed to a fielder's choice, and now walked again. For Robinson, this will be his 4th appearance on the year. He's thrown 7 innings, given up 7 hits, 4 runs, which were earned with that walk. He's moved to 2 walks on the year, 2 strikeouts, an 0-1 record, and a 5.14 ERA. As showing bunt there was Chapman, strike 1. Chapman laid down a bunt for a hit last night to load the bases. or 2 nights ago, rather. As this one is up and out of play on the left field side, and that'll be strike 2. Here in the bottom of the 6th, a 9-5 lead for the Gray Wolves. But they haven't had a hit in the last 3 frames. And their last hit coming in the 3rd. Most of their work done for them by Ryan Ward, the starter for the Elks, as they drew 6 walks in the top of the 1st to score 6 runs. The 0-2. A drive into center field, working back is Smith, and that one will get over his head, rolling all the way to the wall in the deepest part of the park. He's chugging for 3. It'll be cut off and thrown into the infield, but it's a RBI triple for Chapman. After he hits an inside the park home run, he hits a triple to dead center field over the head of Ryan Smith. Scoring from first base is Mendozona. It is now a 9-6 lead for the Gray Wolves as the Elks continue to chip away. That'll bring up A.J. Valencia. Valencia 1 for 3 today. Has a runner at third base and no outs. Even a ground out could bring in a run as fastball misses inside. 1-0 the count. The left-handed hitting Valencia against the righty Robinson, and the side armor misses off the outside half. 2-0 the count now. Golden skies here in Bend as the sun has set and a beautiful night sky beginning to develop. That'll become a 3-0 count now for Robinson. He started off his appearance by walking Mendozona, and then in an 0-2 count gave up the triple to Derek Chapman to the deepest part of the park and is now down 3-0 to Valencia. The pitch, fastball inside, ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk, and it looks like we're setting ourselves up for another wild finish here in Bend last night. An 8-7 victory for the Gray Wolves after they led by 6 runs going into the bottom of the 7th. And then having to retake the lead in the top of the 9th, but now a 9-run advantage being chipped away at by the Elks. Now runners on the corners, no outs for the 3-hole hitter Billy King, 0 for 2 today. And with that, Coach Barkus will head out to the mound to have a conversation with Robinson. He'll bring the infield in with him. A 9-6 lead. A runner at third base and no outs as Derek Chapman tripled in George Mendozona. 1 at bat after hitting an inside the park home run. He triples to center field. And it looks as if there will be a switch here. Out on the mound, they're going to go to the lefty. Looks like it might be Carter Book again. Going to try and get a number as he goes through his warm-up pitches. Then we'll step aside. It is number 11, Carter Book, coming in for Zach Robinson, who just didn't have it today. Step aside quickly as he gets heated up. A 9-6 lead for the Gray Wolves. Runners on the corners, no outs for the Elks.
Follow your Gresham Gray Wolves on social media. The Gray Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Carter Book into the game, taking over for Zach Robinson, who faces 3 batters, can't get it out, gives up 1 hit and 1 run, but is responsible for both runners aboard. Book, first pitch fastball, strike 1 on Billy King. Book came in last night through a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, and 2 walks, and balked in a run, trying to have a bounce-back performance on the mound in a lefty-lefty matchup. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th as a look over to first base has Valencia back over. Ball behind the back of Book. King sitting in the left-handed batter's box. The 0-1 will be rolled over to Matheson. Backhand stab. He'll go to first base. And he didn't have the ball. It popped out of his glove. He never had it. Everybody's safe. It rolled behind him. And that is E3. And a tough break for Carter Book as he gets what very well could have been at least 1 out. Derek Chapman comes in to score. AJ Valencia goes to second base. It's now a 9-7 advantage for Gresham, but watching that slowly melt away in these last 3 frames. A 4-run bottom of the 4th. 1 tacked on in the 5th, and now 2 here in the bottom of the 6th, but 2 runners on and no outs. And Tommy Lane, the RBI leader for the West Coast League, at the plate. 1-0 the count after a miss from Book. The 1-0 rolled over foul towards his own dugout for Tommy Lane. 1-1 the count. As Book starting to pound the zone. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Slider away. 2-1 the count. And looking back at that Matheson play, he got it on the backhand, pulled it up, and as he was moving towards first base, it just popped right out behind him, and he didn't even know. He stepped on the bag and then realized as soon as he stepped on the bag, the ball's not there as Lane takes a big swing and a miss. Strike 2, and that's a tough break for Matheson, who had bounced back nicely from a 2-error game 3 against Kitsap. As it now a 2-2 count for Lane. The pitch from Book, checking his swing. Another breaking ball off the plate. It's a full count now. 2 runners on. 2 runs have scored. And no outs in the bottom of the 6th. A 9-7 game. 9 runs scored in the first 3 frames for the Grey Wolves, but they haven't had a hit since. The 9... And a big swing and a miss on the curveball. Strikeout for Carter Book, out number 1, and it's a big out number 1, as that will bring up Lewis Wolf. Still work to be done, but getting that first out on the board, a big part of it, getting over that hurdle. A double play can now end the inning. First pitch, fastball, called strike one on the outside half. Wolf 2 for 3 today, a bloop single and a shot past Matheson at first base. Pair of opposite field hits for Wolf. And this will be swung on and hit off the gear of Clanky. Clanky will fire to second base and now caught in the rundown. And watching back to first base will be Billy King, as Valencia had broke to third base and he was rounding. They had to make sure he wouldn't score. King expertly making sure that he was going to be close enough to where they had to keep that play alive with him there and make sure that Valencia couldn't go to the plate. It's an 0-2 count after a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count after a miss from Book. 1-2 count. One out, runners on the corners after the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Book. Back-to-back strikeouts. Back-to-back swing and misses of the 4 and 5 hitters. That'll bring up Jack Anderson. Zach Robinson started this inning on the mound for the Gray Wolves. He gave up a leadoff walk to Mendozona, a triple to Derek Chapman over the head of Smith in center field. It scored Mendozona and then walked Valencia's first pitch, nearly tagging Anderson. He gets out of the way. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 is shot to Barkis at second base. He bobbles, underhand flip to shortstop. Johnson covering the bag for out number 3. And the Gray Wolves get out of the inning, but not before 2 more runs come across for the Elks. It's a 9-7 game now as we go to the 7th. The Gray Wolves looking for their first hit since the 3rd. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Gray Wolves on social media. The Gray Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGreyWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGreyWolves.com.
It's a howling good time down at the Lucky Pint.
A new pitcher out on the mound for the Elks. Number 46, Michael Warnick, takes over for Andrew Edwards. Edwards goes 5 1/3, gives up 3 hits, 3 runs, strikes out 4, and walks 4. Leaves it a 2-run deficit. First pitch ball from Warnick on Will Matheson. Will Matheson, who had the ball pop up right out of his glove at first base as a run would come in on that play. 2-0 the count now on Matheson, who is 1 for 1 with a pair of walks, and one of those was an RBI walk, a bases loaded walk. This will be the 8th appearance for Warnick. He's thrown 8 2/3 innings, given up 16 hits. Fastball down low, ball 3. He's given up those 16 hits, 13 runs, 7 of which are earned. 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 7.27 ERA, 1-2 on the year. It's a 3-0 count. The pitch, fastball low, ball 4. A leadoff walk for Will Matheson. Now the 11th walk of the contest. That'll bring up Ben Clanky. Clanky, 1 for 3 today. An RBI single, a fielder's choice, and a strikeout looking. He scored 2 runs. As now a pinch runner will come into the game. Looks like number 9. That'll be Curtis Perrin taking over for Will Matheson. Up at the plate is Ben Clanky, waiting now for the righty Michael Warnick. And if Curtis stays in the game, which I expect him to, he will probably go over to play left field as a throw over. Will get away from the first baseman King, off of his glove, rushing over now to second base is Perrin, as his speed pays immediate dividends. They throw over to keep him close to the bag. It ends up lipping off the glove of King, and now Perrin moves over on E1. And now Perrin will go have a talk with Coach Barkas as he popped up hard, and he's going to get some of his gear, but also see if he's okay. And that's the last thing the Grey Wolves need, is another injury.
So he posted, voila, we've got a ball game. We've got ourselves a ball game. Tune into the final third. Something about YouTube.
Ben Clanky at the plate, still looking for the first pitch of his at bat. And here it comes. First pitch fastball located off the outside edge. Strike 1. Just grabbing the black on the outside half. Curtis Perrin in scoring position. It's a 9-7 lead for the Grey Wolves, trying to complete the sweep of the Elks. The Elks battling back. They played at 7 runs in the last 3 innings. The 0-1 pitch to Clanky. Fastball away. A low down on the outside half. 1-1 the count. And taking a look around the West Coast League, The Cowlitz Black Bears still trail the Yakima Valley Pippins 3-5, and that game is in the bottom of the 7th. The Yakima Valley hosting the Black Bears is checking his swing, is watching it down to the dirt. Is Clanky is 2-1 the count. Now George Mendozona will run out to the mound and talk with Michael Warnick. Also around the West Coast League, the Victoria Harbor Cats defeating the Kitsap Blue Jackets 7-2. That game's in the top of the 9th. In the top of the 7th in Bellingham, the Kelowna Falcons trailing by 3 to the Bells, 4-1. It's a 2-1 count to Clanky. Perrin came in for Matheson after he drew a walk. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball away, 3-1 the count. Michael Warnick struggling to find the strike zone here to start off his appearance. He took over for Edwards, who struggled early on, but then got into a groove in his last 3 frames. It's a 3-1 count. No outs, runner in scoring position. The pitch rolled over to the first baseman, King. He'll glove it, run it over to the bag. Advancing on the ground out is Perrin for out number 1. A productive out. Of course, Clanky would like to be aboard, but he advances the runner, and that's half the battle. That'll bring up Jordan Barkis' spot. Looks like it will be Barkis. No changes other than Matheson, which means Curtis will go to play first base, in my guess, and then Perrin goes out into left field. And ball 1 off the outside edge. Back-to-back lefties. The 8 and 9 spots in the order for Gresham. A 9-7 lead. Very much on the wrong end of the momentum swing, however, as it's been all Elks the last 3 frames. The 1-0 down off the outside edge. 2-0 the count. And right now, I'm sure the Grey Wolves are hearing a lot of counsel from hitting coach Michael Pena to just make sure it's perfect as he coaches first base. The infield is brought in. Now 2-0, the pitch. Down low, 3-0 as the middle infielders go behind the mound as the throw goes back to make sure it doesn't get past. 3-0 the count, 1 out, runner at third base. Curtis Perrin, who pinch running from Will Matheson. The 3-0, down low, ball 4. And now runners on the corners, 1 out after 2 walks. Bookend a ground out to first base, and it looks like Michael Warnick's day is done. Somebody's jogging in from the bullpen for the Elks. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and the top of the 7th will step aside. The Grey Wolves trying to add a little bit more to their lead, just 9-7. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field.
And all warmed up out on the mound. The new man, number 22, Camden Muller, taking over for Michael Warnick, who, similar to Zach Robinson, just didn't have it today. He leaves two men aboard, did record one out. A ground out to first base. So Muller comes in, runners on the corners. Making his 14th appearance on the year, all of them out of the bullpen. Ryan Smith at the plate. First pitch fouled off. Strike one for Muller. He's thrown 16 innings, given up 16 hits, 7 runs, which are earned, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 3.94 ERA on the year, a 2-1 record in those 13 appearances. 0-1. Count on Smith after the foul. Big lead being taken by Barkis as he'll be looked over back to first base as he was bouncing around over at first. A 9-7 lead for Gresham, trying to add a little bit of breathing room. Curveball, strike two, dropped in. And that is a great pitch from Camden Muller. As Smith and the home plate umpire Anderegg talking about that one as he'll tighten up his gloves. Smith digs back in. The 0-2 pitch, a drive into center field. Chapman breaks on it and a dive, and he will make the play, and it'll be a throw over to now third base to see if he broke early, and breaking early is Perrin. They say no on the sacrifice fly. They're not tagging up correctly was Perrin, and Coach Barkis is screaming at Mark Anderegg, and he just got tossed from the game. And now he's going to go back, and he's going to get his money's worth now. And Ted Cockrell will walk Coach Barkis off. And that was a fantastic play in center field by Chapman. And then tagging up incorrectly was Perrin. And so an excellent opportunity for the Grey Wolves goes away just like that. An 0-2 count. Smith puts it up in the air. Chapman makes the play, rolls it into the infield. They go to third base, and they say that Perrin left too early. That'll be out number 3, and the Grey Wolves come away with nothing. We go to the bottom of the 7th. A 9-7 lead for Gresham. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Jared Gonzalez will start off the inning after an eventful end to the top half of the seventh. Runners on the corners, a diving play in center field made by Chapman. And then he throws it in, and they get Perrin for leaving too early. The first pitch from Book, shot up the middle, a backhand stab by Barkis, wings it over to Curtis for out number one. A fantastic play, a long run up the middle as Jared Gonzalez is retired. That's the first time he has been retired today, and it was a tough play. Barkis got a late break on it, had to go to the backhand, and a quick transfer and a throw over to Curtis for out number one. That'll bring up Tate Budnick. Budnick 2 for 3 today. First pitch fastball called strike one as Mark Anderegg tossed Coach Barkis for arguing that one. And so he is gone. It's a 1-1 count now after a miss low to Budnick. Swing and a miss, strike two. Budnick takes a huge swing, comes up empty. 1-2 the count. 1-2 from Book. On its way. Curveball misses low. 2-2 the count. One out in the bottom of the seventh. It's been all Elks the last 3 frames as they have scored 4, 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. They'll go around the horn. Down goes Tate Budnick. It's the third strikeout of the appearance for Carter Book, out number 2. And Book really should have been down 1-2-3 after he came into the game, but an error on Will Matheson as it popped out of his glove. A run came across on that play, and then he struck out 2 and got Anderson to hit into a fielder's choice, which eventually retired King, who did reach on that error. First pitch swung on, sent to the backstop by Mendozona. Strike one. The all-brick backstop here in Bend. It goes from both dugouts all the way around. As I mentioned earlier, those dugouts set way off of home plate as this one is sent foul on the third base side to the backstop, and Karams back into the field of play. It's an 0-2 count. And Boog trying to go 1-2-3 here, get his guys back up to the plate. It's a 2-run lead for the Gray Wolves. The pitch, a high fly ball into left center field. And this one will be retrieved without a problem by Ryan Smith. 1-2-3, down go the Bend Elks in the bottom of the seventh. No scoring after a wild finish to the top half of the seventh and a very routine 1-2-3 in the bottom. We go to the eighth, a 9-7 lead for Gresham over Bend. It'll be Zicafus, Cardinale, and Adams due up for the Gray Wolves. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up! finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
It's Connor Zickafoos at the plate, and first pitch swung on high into the air, foul on the third base side, strike one. Zickafoos 2 for 4 today. Oh, and 1 count. Zickafoos hits from the lefty batter's box. The 0-1. Fastball upstairs, 1-1 the count from Camden Miller, who came in and got that wild play started off. Ryan Smith hit a line drive into center field, a headfirst dive from Smith towards home plate, so a full extension towards the infield. And then he rolled it in, and they said the Perrin left too soon. Fastball inside, ball 2, and ended up being thrown out at third base. And so an excellent opportunity for the Grey Wolves slipped away in the 7th, trying to get something rolling here in the 8th. A 2-run lead still, the 2-1. High into the air on third base side again, but it'll work its way out of play. Strike 2. As the 7th, the first inning since the 4th that the Elks did not score. They did not score the first 3 innings as well, it should be mentioned. A 9-0 lead going into the 4th inning. The Elks score 4 runs, and then 1 more, and add 2 more on still in the 6th, and we've got ourselves a ball game, 9-7. The first third owned by the Grey Wolves. The middle third, the Elks. Who will own the last third? Well, we're finding out right now. A push in the 7th, and well, we're in the 8th. It's a full count to Zickafoos. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout. Down goes Connor Zickafoos. It's the first strikeout for Camden Muller. Out number 1. And the crowd very much back into it now after they had been all but taken out of the game in the first 3 frames. But a pair of home runs in the 4th. And inside the Parker from Derek Chapman after the 2-run home run from Jared Gonzalez. Reinvigorated these fans. It'll bring up Mark Cardinale. Cardinale sees first pitch strike called by Mark Andere. Cardinale 0 for 3 today. He did reach on a walk in the 3rd, was stranded at 2nd. An 0-1 count, 1 out here in Bend. And fastball cuts across the zone, but too high. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch, a drive into left field. Valencia working back at the wall and collects it at the warning track for out number 2. As Cardinale got a hold of that one, but Valencia was playing back and he got there with time to spare. Out number 2, and that'll bring up Josh Adams. Adams 1 for 2 today. He's also walked twice, scored a run, and had an RBI walk. As he's in the left-handed batter's box, waiting for the first pitch. Muller sets and fires. Fastball off the outside edge and sent well foul off the bat of Adams as he took a big rip at that one. The Grey Wolves have not had a hit since the third, though they did have their first pair of base runners in the seventh after Michael Warnick came in and gave up 2 walks. And then Camden came in and he was able to get the line out, and eventually the unorthodox double play. Curveball dropped in, strike 2. An 0-2 count on Adams. 2 outs in the top of the 8th, a 9-7 lead for Gresham, going for the sweep of the Elks. They had a 9-0 lead going into the 4th, but it's worked its way to just a 2-run lead now. The 0-2 pitch, checking his swing, but called strike 3. Down goes Adams. And that'll be the second strikeout for Camden Muller. And once again, the Grey Wolves without a hit. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be the top third of the order due up for Ben. Derek Chapman, A.J. Valencia, and Billy King. It's a 9-7 lead for Gresham. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up!
Welcome back to Vince Jenna Stadium. I'm Nick Winstead. The Grey Wolves on top of the Elks 9-7 as we move to the bottom of the 8th. It's been an eventful game, a 6-run top of the first for the Grey Wolves as first pitch of ball fired in to Derek Chapman from Carter Book. Then 3 more added on, a 9-0 lead, but 4 runs coming across in the bottom of the 4th. 2 home runs, 1 out of the park and 1 inside the park as a called strike on Derek Chapman, the man who hit the inside the park home run. In the 6th, 2 runs come in, a leadoff walk and then a triple over the head of Smith by this guy again, Derek Chapman. 1-1 the count. The pitch from Book on its way. Checking his swing as the slider misses outside. 2-1 the count. And so we've got ourselves a 9-7 game. Gresham on top, with the Elks trying to push it. Yet again, it's a 3-1 count, as last night the game was tied at 7 in the bottom of the 8th. Gresham had to go get 1 run in the top half of the 9th and then shut the door in the bottom of the 9th. And now it's a 3-1 count to Chapman as he sends a big chopper over to first base. Curtis will fire over and a foot race to the bag and 1 by Buck. As Curtis had to come off the bag and fielded a foot race to the bag. And Buck wins a 3-1 put out for out number 1. Will bring up A.J. Valencia. Valencia 1 for 3 today. And instead it would be pinch hit for by Elliott Willie. A big bat in Elliott Willie would come up in some huge situations in the last 2 games. Now he's tasked with getting a board in this one, as he sends this one to the backstop. Strike one. An 0-1 count, the lefty-righty matchup. The pitch from Book. And that is a called strike and a nasty pitch. Just grabbing the inside part of the plate. 0-2 the count now on Willie. 1 out. The pitch bounced in. 1-2 the count. As Kalanke will go up and retrieve that one up the first baseline. Chapman was in a 3-1 count when he sent one over to the hole. Curtis cut it off, and Book runs over and wins the foot race to the bag. It's a 1-2 count now on Willie. The 1-2 pitch sent foul on the third base side. 1-2 the count remains. A 2-run lead for the Gray Wolves, 9-7. Carter Book, the third pitcher of the game, as Donovan Ramirez went 5 innings. The 1-2 pitch up into the air into right field. Shallow hit. Adams, Barkis, all there, and Barkis will call everyone off and make the play. Not an easy play made as he was on the run. Adams probably had the best angle at it, but Barkis called him off, very confident he could make the play, and he did. Out number 2, that'll bring up Billy King. As I was mentioning, Ramirez, the starter, 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Then Zach Robinson comes in. He gives up a leadoff walk and a triple. He'll be charged with 2 runs and 2 walks, no strikeouts. He can't record an out in his appearance. The lefty King at the plate. The first pitch from Book, fastball up, ball 1. Then Book came in thereafter, and the first batter he faced was King. And King rolled one over to Matheson at first base. Matheson thought he had it in his glove, went to tag the base for out number 1, but ended up having it pop out of his glove. Ball 2 on King, and that allowed Chapman to score from third base. Book would then strike out Lane and Wolf before getting Anderson to hit into a fielder's choice. It's a 2-0 pitch, a drive into center field. This one will take 1 hop to Smith. He'll get it into the infield, as this one is smoked up the middle, and it's a 2-out knock for Billy King, his first hit of the game. That'll bring up Tommy Lane. Lane's 5 home runs, tied for the most, as the fans starting to go nuts here. The tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 8th. Billy King at first being held on by Curtis. First pitch, change up, ball 1. It's a 1-0 count. Lane digs back in. Book works from the middle, really, of the mound, as this one is laced over the head of a jumping Barkis into right field, going from first to third. Now is King. King will be sent to the plate. The throw will be safe at the plate. Throw to second base will be skied over the head of Johnson. It's a 9-8 game. Kalanke was playing a little bit too far in front of the plate. His swipe didn't come in time. It's an RBI single for Lane, going from first to third. And to home was Billy King. He blew through the stop sign. Lane, a single, advances on the throw, and it's just a 1-run game. A pinch runner coming in for the Elks. It's number 2.
Now pitch running.
Number 2.
Number 2, Troy Viola.
Troy Viola, excuse me. As this has become a lot closer game than any of the Gray Wolves would have expected. And now a trip out to the mound from the pitching coach, Ian Sanderson, after Coach Barkis was ejected. as Sanderson will go out to talk with the home plate umpire to indicate that there is a new pitcher into the game. It's number 29, Michael Clark, making his third appearance in as many games. He's been asked to come in and record a 4-out save. First and foremost, just get out of the eighth. When we come back, a runner at second base, 2 outs. A 1-run lead for the Gray Wolves, 9-8.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGrayWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGrayWolves.com.
Michael Clark into the game. He's gotten saves in the last 2 Gray Wolves victory, and he's coming on in a pressure situation. Lewis Wolf at the plate. 2 for 4 today. First pitch fastball, strike 1. It's an 0-1 count after the strike as Wolf comes in, taking over for Carter Buck. He goes 2 2/3 innings. Gives up 2 hits, and 1 run across. And he was responsible already, and he's got Troy Viola at second base, the pinch runner for Tommy Lane. The 0-1 swung on and missed, strike 2. A 1-run lead for the Gray Wolves, 9-8. As they're trying to pump up the fans here as much as possible. Clark waiting out on the mound, ball behind his back. Works from the first base side of the rubber. Wolf steps back in, down 0-2. Ball comes into the glove. The 0-2 pitch, a fastball up and into the air on the first base side, and running out of room is Drew Curtis. It remains an 0-2 count. 9-8. After the Gray Wolves led this one 9-0 after 3 innings. The middle innings owned by the Elks. They scored 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and now they've plated 1 in the 8th, trying to tie the game. The tying run at second base. It's an 0-2 count. Michael Clark coming into the game, trying to shut the door here in the 8th. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Slider. Lewis Wolf chasing, down go the Elks, but not before 1 run comes across. It is a 1-run lead for Gresham as we go to the top of the 9th. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. Johnson, Curtis, and Perrin. A 1-run lead as the Gray Wolves go for the sweep. After they led 9-0, just a 1-run lead. We're headed to the 9th here on Gray Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up! Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Trying to double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Welcome back to the press box at Vince Jenna Stadium. It's a 9-8 lead for Gresham. We're in the top of the ninth. And at the plates, watching first pitch fastball up into the air on the right side. Running after it is the new first baseman, Gonzalez, and he grabs it on the edge of the dirt for out number one. Jack Johnson is retired, and he is now 0 for 5. That'll bring up Drew Curtis. Curtis 0 for 3 today, but has scored a pair of runs after he reached on a walk on an error as well in the first and third innings respectively before grounding out and striking out. As this one is a hard line drive underneath the glove of Budnick into right center field. Taking a big turn around first base is Curtis, but he's going to stay put as that one got sent back into the infield quickly. Nearly a spectacular play made by Budnick, but it gets underneath his glove. And that'll bring up Curtis Perrin. Perrin, who came in as a pinch runner for Matheson and ended up leaving too early in the 7th, comes to the plate. Fastball inside. Ball 1. Camden Muller still out on the mound. Colin Runge at third base. Gonzalez moves from third to first. King out of the game. It's a 1-0 count. The pitch. Fastball inside again. 2-0 the count. 1 out, 1 on. In the top of the 9th. It was in the top of the 9th that the Grey Wolves retook the lead 8-7. After Drew Curtis got aboard, Curtis Perrin puts a perfectly done bunt for a hit up the third baseline. A fastball up, a pitch out. But Curtis is at first base, so it's 3-0 the count as Lewis Wolf was ready to fire down to second base. But Curtis wasn't going. And Curtis Perrin at the plate. The 3-0 pitch on its way. Ball, ooh, a very late strike call. 3-1 the count. Mark Anderegg making sure everybody stayed on the edge of their seats for that one. 3-1 the count. A little bit up, but a called strike. 3-1 the count now. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. A full count now for Perrin. After the 3-0 pitch called a strike, Perrin unloads. A swing comes up empty. A full count. 1 out, 1 on. The payoff pitch will be shot to shortstop. A chance to turn 2. Bobbled. His throw will go to second base. The throw to first base. Not in time. A fielder's choice as Drew Curtis is retired for out number 2. And Curtis Perrin is aboard. That'll bring up Ben Clanky with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. A 1-run lead for the Grey Wolves. Trying to get their first sweep since the first series of the second half on the road against Kelowna. First pitch swung on, missed. Strike 1. A nice breaking ball that Clanky goes around on. And he can't grab any of it. 0-1 the count. The 0-1. A drive up the middle and into center field. Coming in quickly is Chapman as they were in no doubles defense. And keeps it to a single. Perrin goes to second base. Kalanke is aboard. A 2-out knock will bring up Jordan Barkis' spot. And it will be Jordan Barkis as Dylan Doherty getting the whole game off as he's resting his right arm. Two runners on, 2 outs, a 1-run lead for the Grey Wolves. The first pitch to Barkis, swing and a miss. Strike one. Barkis 0 for 2 today. He has drawn 2 walks, however. One of them was an RBI walk. Hits from the left side. Wide stance. The 0-1. Fastball at the knees, strike 2. And now the Grey Wolves trying to get a little bit of cushion going into the bottom half of the inning, or down to their last strike. 2 on, 2 outs, and an 0-2 count for Barkis. The 0-2 up and down the left field line, foul as Barkis stays alive. This game started at 6:41. Over 3 hours now being played, and for the first 3 innings, the Grey Wolves feeling pretty good about it as this one is up and yet again foul down the third base side. But the Elks come storming back. They are now just down by 1 run. 9-8. A low-scoring affair in Game 1 and a pair of slugfests here in Game 2 and Game 3. It's an 0-2 count to Barkis. Muller will step off. He digs back in. He works from the third base side of the rubber. Ball in his glove. Brings his hand into the glove. Sets at the chest. Drops it to the belt. The 0-2 pitch will be fought off yet again by Barkis. Battling here in the top of the 9th. Staying alive, but it's still an 0-2 count as he just fights off pitch after pitch after pitch. Camden comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Up and unable to make the play at third base is Runge in foul territory to slide head first. A long run for Runge. And yet again another foul ball off the bat of Jordan Barkis. A 9-8 lead for the Grey Wolves. 2 runners on. Curtis Perrin at second base. Ben Kalanke at first. Perrin with very good speed. No doubles defense for the Elks. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball off the plate. Ball 1. And that's a good job by Barkis after seeing so many pitches just pounding the zone time and time again. They go outside trying to get him to chase, and he just watches it pass by. 1-2 the count. Muller sets the 1-2. Up and into the air, into left center field. It's going to be into the glove of George Mendoza. Three fielders converging. Mendoza grabs it for out number 3. The Grey Wolves strand a pair. They've now left 9 runners on base as we go to the bottom of the 9th. A 9-8 lead for the Grey Wolves over the Elks. It'll be Anderson, Gonzalez, and Budnick due up as Michael Clark going out to try and shut the door once more on the Elks. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@GreshamGreyWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGreyWolves.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Welcome back to Bend, Oregon. I'm Nick Winstead. The Grey Wolves on top by 1 in the bottom of the 9th. A 9-8 lead. Michael Clark out on the mound will be facing up against Jack Anderson. First pitch, fastball away. Ball 1 as a atmosphere that had once been dead silent, now raucous. It's a 1-0 count as Clark brings the ball into his glove. The 1-0 fastball. Ball 2. Missing inside now. Worked outside, worked inside. The result the same. A miss. 2-0 the count. 9 runs on 7 hits for the Grey Wolves. The 2-0 fastball at the belt. 3-0 the count. Missed inside. 8 runs on 13 hits for the Elks. The 3-0 fastball. Ball 4. A leadoff walk. And the tying run is aboard. That brings up Jared Gonzalez. Gonzalez 3 for 4 today. A 2-run home run in the 4th. An infield hit that brought in a run in the 5th. He grounded out in his most recent at-bat. And he's got the tying run aboard, and he is the winning run. He hits from the left side. Waves the bat out in front of the plate. Loads behind the left shoulder. He squares up to bunt now. Pitch goes way upstairs. Ball 1. It's a 1-0 count, 1 runner on, no outs in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-0 fastball. Strike 1 called, the first out of the inning. First strike in the at-bat, 1-1 the count. Fans getting loud. Squares up to bunt again. The 1-1 pitch, and that's bunted up and foul on the first base line. Strike 2. We'll see if the bunt stays on the table, if Gonzalez is a good enough bunter for Coach Corey Powell to put that sort of pressure on him. If he bunts foul again, he's out. It's a 1-2 count. Clark sets at the belt. Goes to the plate. Fastball away. Ball 2. Trying to get Gonzalez to chase, but he stays off. Gonzalez playing today for the first time in the series. Made his impact felt. Hitting the first of 2 home runs in the 4th. A blast over the right field wall. He turned on a fastball. It's a 2-2 count. The pitch, a fastball up and out of play on the third base side. Remains 2-2. Gonzalez takes a long look at his bat before stepping back in. A wide stance, slightly open. His front foot just about maybe 3 inches behind. The 2-2 pitch is roped foul high into the air, high off of a house and bouncing deep into the night. 2-2 count. Now 10 o'clock here in Bend. A game that started at 6:40 worked well into the evening. Clark brings the ball into his glove at the belt. The 2-2 pitch. A fastball high into the air in right field, and making the grab on the run is Josh Adams. That'll be out number 1 as Gonzalez got underneath that one. And that'll bring up Tate Budnick. And instead, actually, it'll be a pinch hitter. Pat Flynn leads the league in doubles with 11. Pinch hitting for Tate Budnick. Budnick 2 for 4. Pat Flynn was the DH yesterday, went 0 for 5 with an RBI. Has to come on, make something happen off the bench. First pitch misses upstairs. 1-0 the count on Flynn. Flynn 0 for 5 yesterday, was 0 for 4 the day before, looking for his first hit of the series in a big spot here against the Grey Wolves. A 9-8 lead for Gresham over Bend. The 1-0 fastball in on the hands, fouled off. 1-1 the count. 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the ninth. It's double play depth up the middle, trying to end the game on a ground ball. But the Grey Wolves just trying to get 1 out at a time here. A 9-8 lead. They watch the 9-run lead evaporate. Fastball inside, getting out of the way is Flynn. 2-1 the count. Michael Clark, a 6-foot freshman from Rohnert Park, California, goes to Cal Poly down in San Luis Obispo, California, or as the locals call it, slow. It's a 2-1 count. 1 out. The pitch. Fastball down low. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Flynn. Jack Anderson at first base after drawing a 4-pitch walk to start off the bottom of the ninth. He's the tying run. The 2-2 pitch. Change up. Strike 3. Down goes Pat Flynn. He got him looking. The off-speed pitch after he was pounding the zone. Drops in the off-speed, and that's out number 2. The second strikeout of the appearance for Clark. That'll bring up George Mendozona. Mendozona 0 for 2 today. He also has drawn 2 walks and scored a pair of runs. It's a 1-run lead for the Grey Wolves, trying to sweep the Elks. First pitch, a drive into left center field. That'll drop in the gap, rolling to the wall. It's picked up now by Perrin, being sent to the plate, and the throw will be not in time. Tie game, an RBI double on the first pitch of the at-bat from Mendozona. Anderson goes from first to home. And we're all tied at 9. An opposite field double for Mendozona. Put it into the gap. And it's 9-all. The winning run. Now at second base. Derek Chapman at the plate. As Michael Clark looks out to Jack Johnson giving out the defensive signals. 1 out to go, and we're headed to extra innings. Derek Chapman has had a huge day at the plate, though. As this one is a drive into left center field, a long run, and that will drop. Coming around to score is the walk-off win for the Elks, as Derek Chapman plates George Mendozona back-to-back doubles to left center field, and the Gray Wolves are handed a stunning loss and Bend. 2 runs come in the bottom of the 9th, a 10-9 victory for the Elks over the Gray Wolves. It was a 9-0 lead for the Gray Wolves after 3 innings, but it was all Elks for the last frames. 4 runs in the 4th, 1 run in the 5th, 2 runs in the 6th, 1 run in the 8th, and in the bottom of the 9th, George Mendozona doubles home Jack Anderson with 2 outs. And on the very next pitch, Derek Chapman sends a ball into left center field to plate Mendozona to win the game. A 10-9 victory for the Elks. The Gray Wolves fall to 13-8, 11-12 on the road. They cannot sweep the Elks, who storm back for the victory. With a Pippins victory earlier in the day, the Gray Wolves fall back to a game and a half behind first place. For Bend, they move to 9-15 in the second half, 20-31 on the year, and it snaps their 4-game losing streak. You can listen to Gray Wolves baseball tomorrow, as the Gray Wolves will be in Corvallis taking on the Knights. That's a 6:40 first pitch as the road trip continues. Now 2-1 on the road trip and facing a red-hot Corvallis Knights team. Thanks so much for listening to this one, a heartbreaking loss in Bend. I'm Nick Winstead. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.